It's time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake! Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to round number 3 of the PSGL PC F1 season, and it's a very, very special night. It's the first time ever that we go to the Principality. We're off to the Monaco Grand Prix, Circuit de Monte-Carlo, the jewel in the Formula 1 crown, weaving our way between the barriers. It's the most challenging circuit on the calendar. I'm Ginger Andy, I'm joined by Dan Field for this one. Dan, excited to go to Monaco for the first time on PC?
Yeah, absolutely. Unknown territory for PSGL on the PC side of things. Really excited to see how they get on in this circuit. 1/3 of the Motorsport Triple Crown alongside the Indy 500 and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. As you said, very challenging circuit, very close to the walls, and no margin for error whatsoever.
Yeah, it will be an exciting race. I'm sure it will. Overtaking will obviously be extremely difficult, but if any of these drivers can do it, if anyone can do it, it's these drivers. Let's say that, because they really do know a few tricks around this Monaco circuit, and I'm just really interested to see how it all pans out. There'll be a strategy element to it, but this qualifying session, Dan, is going to be very, very, very exciting. 20 cars on track around this track, squabbling for track position in Q1 is going to be very tasty, and I can't wait to see them push really hard and try not to hit the barriers, because it will be very exciting in qualifying, won't it?
Yeah, of course, qualifying perhaps is the most important around Monaco. It's so difficult to overtake around this track, so the drivers are really going to be prioritizing starting high up on the grid, and it's likely that anyone who starts in the top 3, it is most likely that they are going to be the winners by the end of the race. So we've got to watch out for who's the quickest in the qualifying sessions, because it's likely they'll be the top dog when it comes to the race.
Yes, well, it is, as you say, it is the most important qualifying session of the year, no doubt about it. Unless something wild happens in the Grand Prix, we'll have to wait and see. It's PSGL, anything can happen, of course. But it is only a 114-metre run down to Saint-Devote, and the drivers will need to be very careful in the race not to trip over each other, and of course to try and get that jump off the line and make up a place. But let's cast our minds back, folks, to last week, which was a crazy race in the damp conditions at Silverstone. The safety car came out at the end. It caused all kinds of drama. And in the end, it was Shinaka Clay that took the victory, and Wilson Hughes coming home second and Simon Perigny third. Interestingly, for those of us watching, some of you might not have been aware, but Jarno Opmeer actually received a 5-second time penalty for his collision last week with Nicolas Longuet on lap 8, and they collided down at Luffield, and that led to Longuet going for a spin and Opmeer continuing on his way. He received a 5-second time penalty for that incident, and it dropped him down to 4th. Nicolas Longuet, he recovered well to 5th. John Evans was 6th. He profited massively from the intermediate tyre. Luke Smith 7th. Louis Welsh 8th, Jake Benham 9th, and Barry Burumad, who was actually right up at the front, could have won it if it wasn't for the wet conditions. His good start to 2022 and winning streak came to an end. But yeah, what a fantastic race it was last week, and Wilson Hughes delighted to be up there on the podium. Your favourite Scotsman, Dan?
Yeah, of course. I'm really pleased for Wilson Hughes that he managed to get that penalty removed and found himself on the podium by the end of it. His first podium in PSGL F1 PC, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, the 2-time PSGL PS4 champion in season 27 and 28. So it is really, it's really good to see him on the podium. It's also great to see the likes of John Evans, Luke Smith, and all those guys who are getting their first taste really of F1 on the PC side and it's great to see them scoring some high points.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, Wilson Hughes 5-second penalty removed, got him on the podium. Nicholas Longuet also got a 5-second penalty removed under safety car. I think Simon touched him in the rear going into the pit lane for that one. Wilson Hughes was actually for overtaking Nicholas Longuet illegally, but it was actually Longuet recovering from the spin with Jarno Opmeer that he got the penalty for, so that's why it was removed. But Shinaka Clay, the victor, leads the championship, and let's take a look at the standings. He also, interestingly, leads the WOR standings as well, so he's made a really good start to 2022. He leads the way on 28 points. Barry Burman, the early pace setter, drops down to second. Wilson Hughes, with that strong result last time out, is third, and Jarno Opmeer is fourth on 11 points. A steady start to his campaign. Alvaro Caraton and Simon Perigny are on 10 points each in 5th and 6th, and it's Thomas Ronhar in 7th on 8 points. Jake Benham, he is in 8th on 7 points. Danny Beresney has got 6 points, and Nicholas Longuet rounds out the top 10 on 6 points as well. So early on in the championship, we're interested to hear what people think in the comment section. Who's going to win this world title? It's early days for us to say that, Dan. I'm not going to put you on the spot by asking you that, but who do you think is going to be happiest so far? Shinaka Clay got to be up there. Barry Burman, he'll be a bit disappointed not to still be in the lead after such a strong start, but yeah, they're all looking very strong, and looks like it's going to be quite the fight up the front, doesn't it?
Yeah, surely you got it. If you're Shinaka Clay at the moment, you've got to be so pleased with how your season's going. You know, 28 points at the moment, 2 times on the podium in 2 races. He has been the man on form at the moment. Barry Burman slipped off a little bit last week, of course, had his issues with the sort of just luck not really playing into his hands, and also with the strategy call, it didn't work out for him in the end. So he will be a bit disheartened around that one, but surely those two coming into the rest of the season, they're going to have a tasty fight, I'd imagine. Yeah, exactly. They're going to have a very, very tasty fight. It's been a really exciting start to the season. We had drama in both of the opening races so far in PSGL. It's been really enjoyable. And let's just have a quick look at that calendar before we jump in. Qualifying is about to get underway, folks. We're loading in as we stand. But yes, we've got 15 rounds ahead of us. This is the 1/5 mark, round 3 here in Monaco tonight. We will also be racing next week in France for round number 4, but we will have a 2-week break before we head back to Hungary on the 23rd. We'll head to Austria, then Saudi Arabia, Belgium, Netherlands, Brazil, Mexico, Singapore, USA, before we round things off in Italy and in Bahrain on the 18th of May. I wonder how the championship will be shaping up by the time we reach there. But it is the Monaco Grand Prix tonight, the jewel in the Formula 1 crown, and as we touched on at the top of the show, the first time in PSGL PC history that we have came to Monaco. Let us see what this flings up for the drivers, but no doubt about it, I am very, very, very excited for what's coming up. It's bound to be a cracker, and I can tell you now that we have loaded in, and it is time to get some action on the racetrack. So let's do that now, jump into the race broadcast. Here it is, we are at Monaco, and well, if it loads up, give it a second, but I can tell you Josh Idaho has already retired, and he is one of a few drivers with qualifying bans in this Q1 session. Josh Idaho has one for retiring on the track in Portugal qualifying. He did not turn up last week, so that's why he's serving it now. It's the exact same situation for Matthias van Erven. He's got that penalty to serve too. And Alessio De Capua blocked Simon in Portugal qualifying. He's also serving a penalty tonight. And Daniele Hindad crashed on purpose in the British Grand Prix. So there are 4 drivers in this qualifying session with a time penalty, Dan. And, well, a grid penalty or a total ban from qualifying. So if some of the drivers have done their research here, Dan, they should realise that they might not need to push too hard out there in qualifying if they're aware that 4 drivers aren't going to do a lap. Yeah, well, that guarantees the bottom 4 positions of the grid, and we only lose 5 drivers in Q1, so if you take those guys out, only 1 driver is going to be on the chopping block tonight, and who's going to be feeling the pressure. They are all permitted, by the way, the drivers with a qualifying ban, they are permitted to come out, do an out lap, just to check their wheels and their setup and everything is okay, but then they have to come back into the pit lane. So if you see them out on circuit, don't worry, they will be back in the pits, and you won't be seeing them for the rest of qualifying. But Q1 is underway now, and a man making his return to PSGL, Joni Tomala, back from Britain. And now he's the first driver on an outlap. He's about to be the first one to take on a lap around the Principality of Monaco.
Yeah, Joni Tormela, he started out very well actually in the placements, or the pre-season invitational. Very, very strong, finishing second to Barry Burman. Dropped off a little bit in Portugal. I think he finished 10th in that race, just on the fringes of the points. But of course wasn't with us last week, as you rightly touched on, Dan, and he now gets out there and gets an early taste of the Monaco Grand Prix circuit and what is glistening sunshine, which is a bit of a contrast from what we saw at the end of the British Grand Prix a week ago. But Joni Tormela threading it between the barriers and heading down into Mirabeau and on now towards the slowest corner on the Formula 1 calendar, the hairpin. And the drivers going through there at very low speeds of around 30 to 35 miles an hour, and for once I can say I go faster in my road car, Dan.
I mean, you're going pretty damn slow around that corner, but then you're at the highest point of the circuit, down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Really difficult to get the corner right, and as I say that, Joni Tormela unfortunately invalidates on his run. That will unleash, I believe, Nicolas Longuet in the Red Bull car, the sister team of the AlphaTauri, but he's bashed the wall there. I think Joni Tormela might have got on his way.
Well, it's early signs already of what we anticipated. It's very easy to make a mistake and clip the wall. Longuet's done that, and as you also said, quite rightly, very easy to get in each other's way around here, and it's an advantage, I've got to say, for these drivers that there's 4 drivers with a qualifying ban, because at least we're only going to have 16 out there all together at the one time, so that will help in that scenario. Nicolas Longuet straight into the pit lane, and I want to pick up Simon Vagang. I seen a tweet from him earlier today, and it actually backed up the point you made moments ago, as we saw a mistake from Joni Tormela going into the Nouvelle chicane, and Simon Vagang actually said that that is the hardest part, in his opinion, on the entire Formula 1 game to get right and nail properly. And well, let's see if he can nail it on his lap. Danny Beresney's done the first time on the board, a 108.7. Sam McBride on the mediums, a 109.6, as Simon Vagang gets us underway. Now, I'm sure a few of you in the comment section will be wondering, where is my favourite driver tonight? Well, let me just run through you the situation. Wilson Hughes is replaced by Ruben Pedreño. John Evans has been replaced by Thomas Ronhar. Fabricio Donoso, who's still in Chile, is replaced by Dario Yumilo. Alvaro Caraton has been replaced by Sam McBride. Danny Moreno has been replaced by Matthias van Erven. And Jarno Opmeer has been replaced by Luke Smith for this one. And I can tell you that Jarno Opmeer, I believe, is at the Race of Champions. Not bad for some. Hey, Dan.
Indeed he is, of course, part of the EROC in Sweden. They flew him out there, and he's not present at the moment. I believe Lucas Blakely is actually joining him at the moment. I saw a tweet on Lucas's Twitter about Jarno doing some drifting in a Porsche. I don't think he's living a bad life at the moment, but Simon Vagang is on a run at the moment on the medium compound tyre, as we've seen from a lot of these drivers. They've just come through the swimming pool section chicane. He's looking really confident on this run. Is the Alpine through Rascasse now and up towards Antonino, the final corner. Very tricky to get that perfect, but he's keeping it tight to the right hand side. Simon Vagan's going to cross the line here. He goes 8th fastest at the moment. Of course, some drivers have opted for the softs, the others the mediums, but Luke Smith actually has gone 2nd fastest on a set of the mediums, only 3/10 off of Danny Beresney.
Yeah, good effort there from Luke Smith to go 2nd quickest on that 190. And here is the championship leader out there on a lap, Shanaka Clay. And as I touched on earlier, championship leader in both the top leagues in PC, in the world of league racing here in PSGL and WOR. So he really is the man on form at the minute as he makes his way through Antonino's and up towards the line. What can Shanaka Clay do? He crosses the line now and goes 3rd quickest on the medium tyre, a 10th slower than that of Luke Smith, a 109.1. And seeing all these drivers out on the medium quite early suggests to me I think some of them have been doing their homework and realised that there are 4 drivers missing out here, so there's no need for the intermediates. And Shanaka Clay goes 3rd quickest in the Aston Martin. So let's go further down the order then. Who else can we pick up then on an out lap at the minute, or on a lap? What about Nicolas Longuet, the man, of course, who last week delivered the incredible lap in qualifying, Dan? I mean, we were reading the chat, we were asking everyone for their pole predictions in Q3. Everyone was saying 125.5, 125.4, and then Nico delivered a 25.3, a very special lap. I spoke to a few of the drivers after the session, and they told me that that could be the lap of the season. That was very, very special, that lap from Longuet. Just to confirm it, I think we knew it at the time, but it just really brought the point home because his colleagues were saying it as well, his fellow drivers. So really impressive lap from him. It didn't quite work out in the race after the collision with Otmir, but he'll be looking to put things right today, won't he, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, so far in qualifying, he is on the chopping block. Currently 16th position at the moment. And let's see what the Capricorn could actually be into Q2 if other drivers aren't careful. They don't put in laps. He's currently 13th, but he is retired. So we'll see how that all works out. A couple of drivers are on their runs at the moment. Thomas Ronhaar making his return after his impressive performance in Portugal. He's just coming out of the final corner now. He's about to cross the line on a set of the medium compound of tyre, and he goes 5th fastest with a 109.165. Impressive stuff from the Haas car. As I'm trying to find who else could be on a potential run. I believe Ruben Pedreño in the AlphaTauri replacing Wilson Hughes. He's just begun a lap in his AlphaTauri.
Yeah, let's pick him up there. Ruben Pedreño up at the top of the hill through Masseny he goes now, where Fernando Alonso once crashed back in 2010 and had to fight through from 20th on the grid. Max Verstappen, I'm sure, put it in the wall a few years ago up there as well. As we watch Pedreño hassle and harry his AlphaTauri as he goes down the hill through Portier now, past the water on the left hand side. You can see the big ship in the harbour as Pedreño then goes racing through the Monaco tunnel. The sound of the V6 engine reverberating off the walls as he now heads through that Nouvelle chicane and then heads down to what is, in my opinion, Dan, the most exciting and enjoyable part of the Formula 1 calendar. And Pedreño hits the wall there. Was he put off perhaps by the slow-moving Williams on the inside? I'm not too sure, but just showing how easy it is to make a mistake. Pedreño clips the wall, and he's one of a few drivers out there without a lap time at the minute, so a bit of pressure on him. What about Sam McBride? He was probably the man, he was the man that was just moving aside through to back. Let's go on board with him now as he starts a lap around this Monaco circuit. Let's go for a lap then. Down into Saint-Devote, 112 metre run, down to that first corner, a little bit understeery, going through that section. That will hurt his traction as he weaves his way between the barriers, up the hill and into the left-hander of Masseny. Hug the inside like your favourite granny. Slingshot down into Casino Square. Have a flutter, have a gamble as you plunge down now into Portier. Or Mirabeau even, into that right-hander, and it looks like Sam McBride has backed out of that lap. Dan, I think he was a little bit wide into turn one and it really hurt his climb up the hill.
Yep, absolutely. Of course, this is a very punishing circuit. If you make one mistake, your lap could be done for, and that has been exhibited by Sam McBride. Could be feeling the pressure at the moment. In 12th position, he's second slowest of all drivers to put in laps at the moment. We do have more runs going down. One of them being Nicolas Longuet, currently 16th position in his Red Bull after setting an extremely quick lap last week in Britain. And now he is failing to put in a lap so far, but he is just coming down to the Nouvelle chicane. That's a nice run from the Frenchman, almost on the outside wall there, but he's just about avoided it. Down in towards Tabac and up towards the swimming pool section. I love this part of the track, and in towards the chicane there, up towards Raskas corner. He was a little bit oversteering through the swimming pool section as Barry Burman has gone quickest with a 1 minute 8.495. Can Nicolas Longuet find himself in the reaches of that lap? He does indeed. He finds himself P2 in Q1 with a 1 minute 8.648, and then immediately snatched away by Brendan Lee.
Yeah, Brendan Lee was right behind Longuet on his lap and goes second quickest. It's Barry Burman on top at the minute in qualifying. Who else is out there on one? What about Ron Harry's on a slow one through the first sector? What about Simon Weigang? He looks like he might be going quickly. Yes, he is. He's 7/10 up on his previous best. He's now put a set of soft tyres on that Alpine car as he takes that wide entry. Look at the cone there going through Anthony Nose. I think David Coulthard was one of the drivers that wanted that cone there, and every single year it's been there since as Weigang crosses the line, goes ninth, and showing us there how dangerous that pit lane can be as he crossed the line to take the shortest run to the line. Almost wiped out the Mercedes of Luke Smith as Jake Benham goes across the line and goes fourth quickest on a 108.6. So remember, 4 cars out of qualifying. They have not crashed. If you've just joined us, they all have qualifying bans, so only one man will drop out in this first part of qualifying, and that man at the minute is Ruben Pedreño, who is yet to put a lap in. So he's under a bit of pressure. Liam Parnell is the man on the bubble with his 109.5, but he, I think, might be out there on a lap at the minute. He is making his way through the Nouvelle chicane, a little bit wide, but gets away with it. Louis Welsh and Brendan Lee moving out at the perfect opportunity for Liam Parnell. Through to back now, weaving his way through the swimming pool section. It's like a ski slalom through there as Liam Parnell makes his way into Rascasse now. Swings into the right-hander, past that cone again, which is the reference point for the turn in. Through Anthony Nose, open up the DRS, head for the line, take the shortest route. Liam Parnell goes 10th, 108.887. Louis Welsh, the pad man, now onto the bubble jam.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just begun on a run. He's already invalidated that lap. So Ruben Pedreño at the moment is still feeling the pressure, down in 20th position in towards the Nouvelle chicane. A lock-up on the inside front left, but he has managed to keep the car steady, and the ship is stabilised as he comes through to back and up towards the swimming pool chicane. It's a flick left then right, and then right then left, and he's backed out because he's invalidated there. Ruben Pedreño not able to put in a lap.
Yeah, he's really struggling. He's really struggling to hook it up. A couple of errors he's made now as Ruben Pedreño, and the pressure's beginning to tell on him. He needs to do better than that. Louis Welsh, he's invalidated too, so it's not going well for him. Luke Smith in 11th place. Let's maybe pick him up. Is he on a lap? He is on a lap. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way round the track. I think Dario Yamilo's further round. No, he's only on an out lap, so we'll go back to Luke Smith in the Mercedes car. That 109.0, pretty solid effort on the medium compound. But he's now out there on the soft tyre in that Mercedes. I don't know about you, Dan, but I really enjoy this section. Probably my favourite part to drive on the calendar is Luke Smith. He gets the rear sliding a little bit through the first part, but he's looking pretty tidy.
It's a really satisfying section to hook up there, and I think Luke Smith, with a little bit of a slide out of Anthony Nose, could see himself further up the order, and indeed, that is way further up the order. He's gone quickest of all with a 108.446. Luke Smith really is an unknown in PSGL PC F1. He is on fire tonight.
Yeah.
He's picking up points for the last race, and he's done so well there.
Well, I'm going to take a cheeky dig while he's not here. I wonder what John Evans thinks of that. Great time from Luke Smith, a 108.4 to go quickest of all. Great effort there, and he is really laying down a marker here in PSGL. What about Ruben Pedreño? Can he finally lay down a marker of his own? He's in the final corner now and heading up to the line, opens up the DRS. He's currently slowest of all, needs a time, needs to get out of the bottom 5 and does so. Goes 9th, 108.7. Louis Welch now out of qualifying as things stand, and he's in the pit lane at the minute. He will have time to do one more run, and Shanaka Clay is in a little bit of danger, isn't he? Down in 14th place, he's down as well through the middle sector on his current best. The championship leader not on a particularly quick lap. 600's down now on his previous best. He's intent on trying to qualify on the medium tyre. He's invalidated it, and that might see him come in for a set of softs, and I think he will now need to do that.
Yeah, sliding into the pit lane there is the Aston Martin of Shanaka Clay, championship leader at the moment, 2 times on the podium so far this season, in a place unfamiliar to him, down in 14th place on the bubble of being eliminated. We've already lost Haddad, Odawu, Van Oven and De Capua. We'll see them later on in the race. There's a bit of cloud coverage coming over the circuit now, as I'm noticing. It's getting a bit dark as well, but interestingly enough, with 2 minutes left to go in this session, I believe we do have a few runs. Nicolas Longuet currently just coming through the tunnel and down towards the Nouvelle chicane, trying to improve on his lap again. Invalid there, as Simon Weigang puts it. It's the most tricky corner in the F1 game to get right, and Nicolas Longuet exhibits that well.
Yeah, he sure does, and it doesn't work out for him. Liam Parnell behind him wasn't on a particularly quick lap either. So at the minute, as everyone knows, if you've just joined us, just want to remind everyone, the bottom 4 who are greyed out, they haven't crashed. They have all got qualifying bans. Josh Idawu, Matthias Van Erven and Alessio De Capua serving bans that they didn't serve last week because they weren't here. Bans from Portugal, and Daniele Haddad, who crashed out at Silverstone intentionally, got a qualifying ban as well. So that's why those 4 are out, and only 1 driver will drop from this session, and it will be Louis Welsh at the minute. So what about Sam McBride? Currently 12th quickest, but he's 2 tenths down, and he's backed out of this current lap, so it's not quick from him. We'll have to go and watch Longy, who is setting the timing screens alight. Purple through the first sector. The man who was very strong in qualifying at Silverstone last time out, looking to do and go and get another pole position here. Longue, has he backed out? Yeah, he has. So he's backed out too. So the pressure telling for some, but Louis Welsh, the man who needs a big lap, is on a lap now. So can he get himself out of the bottom 5, Dan?
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see. He is up on his previous best, and he's got a whole bunch of clear air in front of him. So if he can hook up these last 2 sectors, well, he can be the man to eliminate Simon Weigang, who is not out on circuit. And I think he may be over and done with in this qualifying session if he's confident that Louis Welch can't make up 4/10 on his lap. But can the Haas car do it as he comes through the swimming pool sector, and he's 5/10 up on his previous best? Simon Weigang could be the man eliminated in Q1 as here he comes through Rascasse now. Louis Welch out of the final corner. DRS wide open for that Haas car as he flies down the start-finish straights across the line now. He goes 13th. It is enough for him.
Yeah, Simon Weigang still in the pits. He is out of qualifying. Louis Welch is through, and that is probably the most anticlimactic qualifying 1 session I've ever seen. Simon Weigang in the pits, not able to fight his corner. He's out. And the other 4, well, they've already retired. So that's it. Simon Weigang is out of qualifying with Alessio Di Capua, Matthias Van Erven, Josh Arawu and Daniele Haddad completing that group. But let's see if we can pick up someone in the final sector that might be on a lap. Is Sam McBride on one? He is. He's currently 12. He stays. No, he goes 9th. Up to 9th place for him. Everyone else appears to be coming into the pits. Is Nicholas Longue coming in, or is he going to complete the lap? He's going purple, and by the looks of it, he wants to complete this lap. So purple up till now. Will he bail out? Nope, he's going to complete it, and he wants to be the top dog in Q1. Round the final corner, up to the line. It's the 108.4 of Luke Smith to beat. He can't beat it. He goes 6th, and Luke Smith showing his pace again. Great effort from him. A 108.446, silencing all his critics. Top time, Luke Smith in Q1. Good effort.
Yeah, absolutely. For Luke Smith topping the session now. I'm seeing a lot of Louis Welch beast by Beresne in the chat. I'm not too sure what that actually means. On the controller, the Padman finds himself in Q2 in 14th position. I'm really confused what's going on there. But that brings us to an end of Q1, and I think really everything is going to kick off in Q2 because, of course, we're going to lose the bottom 5 in that session, and everyone who's made it into Q2, well, they're actually going to be able to put in their run. So hopefully it could be a little bit more climatic than what we saw at the end of Q1.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, as expected, we lose the 4 with qualifying bans: Haddad, Idaho, Van Erven, and Di Capua, and Simon Weigang. And I'm interested to see what happened to Weigang and why he was in the pits when he really needed to be out there on track. I'm not too sure why, but it would be good to know. But Weigang out of qualifying, disappointing for him, and it is game over. But Luke Smith, he's the story of qualifying so far. Very, very impressive, Dan, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He's topped the session. He's just about half a tenth clear of Barry Burremand. And of course, Luke Smith, the driver, getting a lot of attention lately. And well, he is keeping his head down, of course, in the midst of his exams as well. So it's got to be difficult for him to practice for PSGL. But by the looks of things, I think he's practiced just enough.
Yep, I think so, as he's shown in the times in the first part of qualifying. We're all over for Q1. Stay with us for the next 2 parts of qualifying coming up. Luke Smith then on top, 108.446, beats Barry Burremand by half a tenth. Yoni Tormala back here tonight and looking strong in P3 in the Alpha Tauri. Brendan Lee lines up 4th for Ferrari in Q1. It's Nicholas Longue in 5th. Jake Benham, good effort from the Alfa Romeo driver in 6th, ahead of Danny Beresney in 7th. Simon Shooter is in 8th. Sam McBride in 9th, and Ruben Pedreño completing the top 10. Dario Yumulo is 11th. Thomas Ronhar, P12. Liam Parnell, 13th. Louis Welsh squeezes through in 14th, as does Shinaka Clay, making the medium tyres work, as did Thomas Ronhar, so they save a set of the soft compound tyres. Your bottom 5 in qualifying, they are Simon Weigang, Alessio Di Capua, Matthias Van Erven, Josh Arawu, and Daniele Haddad. So, disappointment for Simon Weigang. He will not be happy to be knocked out this early on in qualifying, will he, Dan?
No, that will be a blow to the Germans' race, especially since it is in the hardest circuit to overtake. I think we could say that without a doubt. So it's going to be a tough race for anyone starting outside the top 10 to find their way into points. Maybe if you're in 11th, 12th or 13th, or if you get a massive undercut, you can see yourself in the points. But qualifying really means everything. Q1 is now over. It's in the past. Drivers need to turn their attentions to Q2. 15 cars battling for a place in the final shootout for pole position. I'm really excited for this one, Andy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and this is where we find out about the strategy as well. What tyre compounds will the drivers choose? Will they go for the softs? Will they go for the mediums? I think the majority of drivers here will be going for the soft compound tyre. I think that's clear, because you cannot risk in Monaco dropping out in qualifying at all, because if you drop out in qualifying and end up 11th to 15th, as you just said, Dan, you know you're in trouble. You're going to be struggling to get a strong result. It's crucial here in Monaco to get the best qualifying. It is the most important qualifying of the year, and as you can see by the circuit, overtaking will be difficult. When we do get to the race though, where can we see the moves, Dan? It's likely to be at the start, maybe into turn 1. You can make a move into the Nouvelle Chicane after the tunnel. I've even seen moves into Rascasse, but that is brave, risking front wing damage, and even into the hairpin, but that would be pretty special, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw the two Haas cars at the 2021 race, and we know what happened to them. You know, I believe Mazepin just decided to go on the curbs and destroy his teammate. So, you know, it's not an ideal place to overtake. But we have loaded into Q2. Something's a little bit different about this session than it was Q1.
Yeah, the clouds look a little bit darker, and not only do they look a little bit darker, the drivers are actually rushing out onto the track because it is starting to rain. Can you believe this? What a start to qualifying we have here, folks. Oh wow, this is really going to shake things up. Look at this. Sam McBride is the first man out on the track. It's starting to rain here at Monte-Carlo, and the track is getting very wet. Will anyone risk going straight out onto inters? Because that track looks very, very slippy. It is going to be all about first man over the line. Qualifying here is going to decide the entire race weekend. This could be the most important moment of the entire qualifying and race. This is huge. Rain falling here at Monaco, and look at them all tippy-toeing their way round the racetrack. This is disaster for Daniel Yumilo, who disconnected in between sessions. His car is in the pits. He is not here. He is going to be 15th in this qualifying section if the rain continues to fall. What drama we have at the start of Q2. Sam McBride with the advantage needs to nail the lap. Dan, this is huge. These drivers cannot invalidate their laps. If they do, they're going to find themselves way down the order and missing the opportune track conditions.
Yeah, absolutely, and the drivers at the rear of the grid are also going to have the worst time of it. Both Red Bulls, Nicholas Longue, Liam Parnell, Timon Shooter and Louis Welch are the bottom 4 cars on circuit at the moment, and they're going to have the worst of the conditions if the rain continues to fall. Sam McBride, though, is the first one out on track, and as you say, they need to keep this lap valid.
Look at this, look at them all. It's absolutely incredible. They're all queuing up in the final couple of corners, trying to find space. It's incredible. The rain continuing to fall. They need to hurry up. Look at Parnell, look at Longue, they're all struggling to find space on the racetrack, and all the while the rain falls, they're losing more and more grip. Let's keep an eye on Longue into turn 1. Is the track still dry enough for him to make the corner? Oh, that looks pretty difficult, but he is just about getting there, and he's invalidated it right away. The pole sitter, last time out, Longue invalidates in turn 1, and his section might be over already. Incredible, Dan. Contrast that with Sam McBride. He's having a great time at the front.
Yeah,
oh no, he's not. He's gone off. Straight off. They're all locking up. This is incredible. None of them are making the corner here due to the conditions. Sam McBride just about went slow enough to get away with it. He's now going to impede the Haas of who is it? Is it Louis Welch? No, it's Thomas Ronhart right behind him. This is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. They should have fitted inters. They should have went straight out on inters.
Yeah, I've seen yellow flags at the back. I think there's an Alpha Tauri off the circuit. Sam McBride is going to be the first one to cross the line, but I think Ronhar is the quickest driver at the moment and is a 19.3. Is the quickest time in qualifying at the moment, and I don't think we're going to see any quicker than that. DRS has been disabled. The intermediate conditions are now, and if you...
Luke Smith coming straight in, Dan. He's not even going to entertain a lap on the dry tyres. He's gone straight into the pits for a set of inters. Could that be an inspired move? I think most of the drivers at the rear of the field have done that. What about Longuet? If I can pick him up, he's crossing the line. He's going for another lap, despite invalidating that one. He's in big trouble here. Everyone outside the top 10 in trouble. Luke Smith, Yumilo, Longuet, Tormala and Shooter. Are they already frozen out of this session?
It could be at the moment. Nicholas Longuet is just struggling to keep it out of the barriers at the moment. Luke Smith was purple in Sector 2. He could have been one of the top drivers in the session. He's decided to bail out on his run and come into the pit lane, and now they're all going to be changing their tyre. Nicholas Longuet at a snail's pace through the hairpin. He's at about 30 kilometres per hour. He's got his teammate of Liam Parnell just in front of him as they're at Porty, and the conditions are slippery enough. They might see a trip into the Mediterranean Sea, but it is just not enough. They need to be in the pit lane for the intermediate tyres. We'll see down into the Nouvelle chicane how slower he has to go. He can't make the corner.
He can't even make the corner. I did say it. I'm not saying I would have done it, but I did say when they all poured out the pits, would anyone gamble on inters? Because I remember a long time ago, I think it was Paul de Resta once made that gamble, which straight onto the intermediate tyres back at Spa in 2013, and it worked a treat. He almost took pole, only for the drivers to come straight back in on new inters and beat him. And this is the exact same situation here. I am very surprised someone that didn't fancy their chances to get into the top 10 didn't just stick a set of inters on it anyway. And look at this, now the two Red Bulls having to queue in the pit lane, and all the while the range continuing to fall. This is hurting them massively. Jake Benham, by the way, he's only just made it back, but he's in P4 at least.
Yeah, Luke Smith is on an outlap at the moment. Anyone inside the top 10 has just decided to stay in the pits. So we'll see Luke Smith when he completes his outlap and actually gets through the first sector. He's invalidated his outlap here, so it's not ideal conditions whatsoever. It is also going to be touch and go as to whether he's able to even beat any of these times. Louis Welch is the slowest in the top 10 at the moment with a 23.5, but I don't know if these drivers are going to be able to beat it on the intermediate tyres. It's going to be shown really by what they actually do through the first sector split, as Luke Smith now he's going to begin his lap. No DRS in the wet weather conditions as he flies down towards San Devon, where he's got to be oh so careful on the brakes. He looks so much slower than you would be in the dry, crawling up the hill towards Massenet corner. He's about to hit the first sector split once he gets down into the braking point at Mirabeau, but he's going oh so slow through the casino square, and he's squirming off the exit here. We'll see his sector time. It's a 20.9, and that is quicker than Louis Welch's.
Well, there you go then. It's possible. It is possible. I'm surprised nobody did that. I'm surprised nobody went straight onto the inters at the start of qualifying. Someone that maybe didn't fancy their chances to get into Q3, maybe just take a risk because they didn't fancy it anyway. But Luke Smith is out there, and that looks like an inspired decision to come into the pit lane. Or was it? Who knows? We're about to find out. Louis Welch certainly not safe with that 123. It can be beaten on inters, but the rain is getting heavier as Luke Smith's rear end sliding all over the place as he tentatively makes his way through to back corner, tries to thread the eye of the needle through the chicane and then through the second part. Tell you what, the swimming pool will be overflowing at this rate down there if it carries on like this, as Luke Smith now makes his way through the final couple of corners into Anthony Nose and now up towards the line. All the rich and famous on their yachts have seeked cover as Luke Smith crosses the line and goes third quickest and proves the point. Intermediates was the tyre to choose for the first lap of qualifying.
Plowing Shooter just goes slower than him. Dario Yomulo came out on the circuit on a set of the soft compound of tyre, and understandably he invalidated his run. Yoni Tomala has gone second fastest. Nicholas Longuet currently on an outlap at the moment. He survived Q1, but he might be eliminated here in Q2 as everyone is on outlaps because they know that their times can and will be beaten by the runners on the intermediate tire. I'm trying to see, everyone is slower in the first sector if they're actually on a lap at the moment. One of those being Shanaka Clay in his Aston Martin, championship leader, currently down in 11th position. He could be out of qualifying if he can't improve.
Yeah, it's a big part here of qualifying. The biggest qualifying session of the season, as we touched on, and the drivers have been thrown a curveball by the Monegasque weather. Absolutely incredible. The start of this session, light rain conditions if you've just joined us. Everyone went out on the soft tyre. Everyone made the wrong decision going by what we're seeing now in terms of lap times, and it looks like they're all going to get a second chance to improve on inters, but the rain's getting heavier, and are those 119s still going to be possible as the rain continues to fall? Shanaka Clay currently out of qualifying unless he can improve, needs to improve. It's absolutely vital he improves, or his championship lead could be going away here. Up to the line he goes. Already this looks slower. It's enough to go sixth though, 120.0. Already drivers slipping away from those 1 minute 19s.
Absolutely, it's getting trickier and trickier, but Nicolas Longuet is trying to make it work at this point. He set a 38 through the second sector. That's about 3/10 slower than what Thomas Ronhar's done. Danny Beresnay finds himself second on the grid in Q2, and I believe that Liam Parnell's found himself going in 8th, but Nicolas Longuet 15th at the moment. Liam Parnell's teammates across the line. Can he see himself into Q3? Indeed he can. He finds the time and he gets a 1 minute 19.498. That could be enough for him to get into the final part of qualifying.
Super laps from Buramand and Longuet, both into the 119.4s on those intermediate tyres. Very strong effort. Thomas Ronhar, he must be loving the fact he's just sitting there going through at the minute on softs, but he might want to go quicker on intermediates because it would give him free tyre choice for the race. So there is certainly plenty to gain for Ronhar by going out there and trying to better that time, isn't there?
It might be worth it, and he is on runs at the moment, but he is slower by about 3/10.
Luke
Smith, what?
That is incredible. A 19.0 from Luke Smith. That is astonishing. The lapse times are getting better. Brendan Lee now with a 19.1, and suddenly Thomas Ronhar on those soft tyres maybe won't be smiling so happily now. The lap times are improving rapidly at the end of qualifying, and the times are beginning to tumble. What an incredible session this has been. Where is Danny Beresnay? He's in the final corner. He's currently on the bubble, needs this lap. He's not on a quick one at the minute. Behind him in the road, is there anyone going quicker? Liam Parnell, he's starting one. Longuet's crossing the line, going 5th at the minute. So who else can we pick up? What about the padman? Louis Welsh, he's in the final corner now, going quicker than his previous best. Louis Welsh up to the line. What can he do? Stays 13th. It's a poor final sector for Louis Welsh. Sam McBride, he's behind him on the road. What's he doing, Dan?
Sam McBride, he is just a bit slower in the second sector. He's quicker in sector 1, but he is losing it at the moment, and he could be fading away in this qualifying session as here he comes across the line. He can only jump Louis Welch with almost a 2/10 improvement there. Jake Benham as well in the Alfa Romeo, currently 12th position and at the moment out of qualifying, but he is 2/10 up on his previous best. This will only see him into 11th position, so he needs the perfect final sector. The Alfa Romeo, the all-star Jake Benham crossing the line. He's only 11th. He's 2/10 off Beresnay.
Well, he certainly found a bit of time in that final sector to get closer to Beresnay, but it's not enough at the minute. Is the track conditions getting worse or better? That's the question. Yamilo, who was really unfortunate at the start of qualifying, can only do a 120.6. Remember, folks, he joined qualifying in Q2 after disconnecting, and he missed the opportune moment right at the start of the session. So he's kind of out of sync with everyone else. What about Danny Beresnay? Is he going again? No, he's coming into the pits, so there'll be no improvement from him. Parnell's had enough. He's P12 and thinks he can't go any quicker, so he is out of qualifying. Many of the drivers in the pits. Ronhar is out there desperately trying to beat his soft tyre lap so he doesn't have to start on those tyres, or at least to give him free choice. Wow! Rear end all over the place for Ronhar in the tunnel when he nearly bended in the barrier and nearly wasn't taking part in Q3 at all.
He's just about survived that there heart in mouth moment for Ronhar, but he's backed out on that one. He's not going to be pushing. He's 4 seconds off at the moment, but I think Daniel Yamulo is on a run at the moment. We also have lost Liam Parnell. I can confirm he's crashed at Tabac, and so that's his qualifying over. He is out of Q2. I'm seeing Brendan Lee's fitted the wet compounder tyre, and certainly with how it's looking, you'd be on the wet compound because it is absolutely chucking it down at the moment as Yamulo's just barely struggling to get the car stopped on the inter tyre.
Well, he's going to try and beat it again, but I think he's on the wrong tyre. Can he deliver anything? Doesn't look like it. Up to the line comes Yamulo. It's a decent effort, by the way. A 19.9. He's only 3/10 away from getting himself into the final part of qualifying. And given his situation when he joined the session, that's a pretty admirable effort from Dario Yamulo. But we need to pick up Brendan Lee. Could this be an inspired decision from him? There he is, coming out of the pit lane now. Oh, he's not. No, that's the Red Bull, sorry, coming out of the pit lane. Who was that? Was that Nicholas Longue? Yeah, it was. Coming out of the pit lane on the wet tyre.
So wet fitted for Longue. Janaka Clay's braving it on the intermediate tyre, and he's just crossed past a stricken Williams of Sam McBride. Timing Shooter has decided he's out of qualifying. He's had enough. He's in the pit lane, and he's retired.
So, a 19.4 for him. Ron Hart's had enough too. 19.3, which he did set, as I'll show you now, on the soft tyre. There it is there, folks, on the left-hand side. So he's the only man, if he makes it into Q3, that will have to start the race on the softs. Should it be dry, everyone else will get free choice.
Yamulo finding time.
Yamulo
5/10 up.
This is incredible from Yamulo. This is incredible. Remember, folks, at the start of this session, was not in here. Missed the opportune moment, but he just kept at it. Digging in, sticking at it, never giving up. Dario Yamulo to the line. Can he get through? Oh, he can! 1 minute 19.4. Dario Yamulo, take a bow. What a lap from him. He puts the Alpine into the next part of qualifying, and he's making mincemeat of everyone that's retired.
I mean, Louis Welch on an uplap at the moment, but he's spun at the tunnel section. He's not going to be able to come across the line to start a lap. Jake Benham in the pit lane. Yamulo has managed to secure himself in the final part of qualifying in Q3. Superb effort, sublime stuff from the Italian, and that is the reason why you never give up, never say never. And Dario Yamulo, incredible stuff as the clock ticks down. Qualifying is over. If you're not on a lap, you cannot start another one, and I think this is all the times we're going to be seeing on the board. How about that from Dario Yamulo?
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Well, I don't care what anyone says, he is my man of qualifying. He might not be my driver of the day overall, but that will wait for Sunday. But he is my driver of qualifying with that. That is absolutely... Is he going again? Is he going again? No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. Dario Yamulo, well done, sir. What a lap that is to get yourself through against all the odds. The Alpine driver makes it into Q3. Brilliant stuff. We lose then. Danny Beresney, who retired thinking he was safe. Nope. Dario Yamulo pops it in 8th position. Out goes Beresney. Out goes Benham. Out goes Liam Parnell. Out goes the Alpine teammate of Yamulo, Sam McBride. And the padman, Louis Welch. But the story is all about Dario Yamulo. How impressive is that? That just goes to show you, Dan, you should never, ever give up.
Not at all. You never back down from a challenge. And 8th position in qualifying. Danny Beresney going to be hurt by that one. I'd imagine he's out of qualifying. We're just waiting for Longue and Yamulo to get their cars serviced and into the pit lane. That brings us to an end of qualifying 2. Now the top 10 all will be setting a time for pole position in Q3. We're going to see similar conditions to this. I really hope so.
Yeah, well, it's a challenge at the best of times, Monaco, in the dry. And, well, that was a very, very challenging Q2 session for the drivers. Everything flung at them. We had all 3 types of tyre compounds out there. But for the second session, Luke Smith looking very, very strong. What are we seeing here from Luke Smith? Is this a change of the guard? I'm not too sure, but Luke Smith looking strong again. He's on top for Mercedes. It's Brendan Lee, Barry Burneman, Yoni Tormala, Nicholas Longue, Thomas Ronhar, Ruben Pedreño, Dario Yamulo with a super effort, Simon Shooter and Shanaka Clay. They go dancing into Q3. Out go Beresney, Benham, Parnell, McBride and Louis Welch. But while we, Dan, that was absolutely incredible. Dario Yamulo, Come on, how good was that? That was sensational. Looked for all the while like it was over. He disconnected at the start of Q2. It started raining. Everyone went out on inters. The rain got worse. Half of them retired, thought it was over. Nope. Not Yumulo. Didn't give up. Brilliant. What a lap. Gets it done. And he is there to party into Q3. And I hope, I would love it, and I'm supposed to be neutral, if he could go and get a very good qualifying result, because that would really be what he deserves after getting through that session. But folks, it's time for us to ask you at home, who do you think is going to get pole position? Let us know in the comment section below. Fire your suggestions at us. We're really interested to hear which way you guys are thinking. I'm interested to hear what you're thinking, Dan, because I'm thinking Luke Smith could be on for something very, very special here. I'm going for Luke Smith pole.
Yeah, Luke Smith has been really in a class of his own. He was about a 10th overall. He only had one quickest sector in that qualifying. He was about a 10th and a half clear of anyone else in that qualifying, but Q3 is underway. Of course, all the top 10 drivers from Q2 progress into the final part of qualifying. It is still raining out on track, but it's looking a slight bit lighter. And I do believe we might be seeing the Inter tyres. As I say that, Brendan Lee is going to be the first man out on circuit on the wet, Sandy.
Yeah, so wet tyre for Brendan Lee. A real mixture already from these guys. Remember, they do have access in the garage to, you know, a little graph that shows them what tyre's quicker, whether it's inters or wets. But by the looks of it, Brendan Lee, no messing around, out there on the wet compound. And to me, that looks too dry for the wet compound, but I'm not a two-time F1 Esports World Champion, so I'll just shut up, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, only one other man can actually say that they are that, and he's not here. And also, I'd like to mention, I'm seeing all these, where is Jarno, where is Jarno? But no one asks, how is Jarno? So, think about that for just a moment. You know, of course, he's racing in the EROC in Sweden. He's having a great time at the moment. I'd imagine if I were to ask how he was, he'd be pretty happy with how life is going at the moment. That leaves only one two-time F1 Esports World Champion of Brendan Lee on the grid. On the wet tyres, same as Timon Shooter, but he's even struggling to keep it on the road in the tunnel section. So Brendan Lee, will see how this gamble pays out for him.
Yep, let's see how it works out as we get ready for the start of Q3. Who are we going for pole position, folks? Let us know. I'm going Luke Smith. Are you going Luke Smith as well? Brendan Lee bailing out. He's had enough already. He's coming straight into the pits. He doesn't think it's wet tyres. And I was right. Turns out you don't need to be in F1. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, folks. So let's pick up Jori Tomala out there on the intermediate tyres as he comes round the final corner and starts the first flying lap of Q3, the most important qualifying section of the PSGL season. Q3 here in Monaco, and it's Joni Tomala, the Finnish driver, who I'm pretty sure will know a lot about drifting around corners in damp conditions or snowy conditions, being from Finland. And he's out there pushing hard early on in Q3, Dan, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Just come into the first sector split at 21.3, but already the rain looks like it's a lot lighter than what it was in Q2. So I think these times should be a bit quicker. Maybe we can see some 1:18s. I'm looking at Luke Smith for that one, probably capturing the essence of Jarno Opmeer being in his Mercedes car for this weekend. Although Joni Tomala has set the first Q time in Q3, he is not the quickest at the moment. That title, well, I don't know who that's going to. I think Taz is glitching out ever so slightly, but Joni Tomala, he's just come through a Nouvelle chicane. He's looking quite nice on this run. He's just trying to keep it as smooth as possible, having to catch the car from the slides throughout the swimming pool section. Because of course, if you overdrive the car and you go for a spin, well, you're gonna have a hard time getting the car reversed when you're pressed up against a barrier. But through Raskas and up towards Anthony Nose, and out the final corner, no DRS for this final run. Up towards the line for Joni Tomala, the first time in Q3, so 1:21.010. But I think that'll be beaten by Shanaka Clay up next.
So well, just before that, Ruben Pedreño coming up to the line then. Let's see what he can do. So Pedreño will cross the line now, and he will not beat his teammate. Shanaka Clay, the championship leader, goes second in between the two Alpha Tauris on a 1:21.2. Let's pick up Luke Smith then, who's been very, very quick in qualifying up till now. Is he still quick? He's pretty quick, but he's not quick enough to dispatch that of Joni Tomala. So good effort from him to go through. Now pick up Dario Yumulo. And a lot of the Hungarians in the chat and a few others not happy that Dario Yumulo made it through, and they're claiming that he got an almost dry track, Dario Yumulo. I can't verify that. I don't know if that is true, but that's certainly what they're saying in chat. So has Danny Beresney been very unlucky in that case, and Dario Yumulo very lucky? Not too sure, but Yumulo has gone 5th out of 5 cars so far. Brendan Lee next to cross the line. He's starting a flying lap as Barry Buraman heads round the final corner, and he's about to end his lap, Dan.
Yeah, Barry Buraman just out of the final corner now, and he goes quickest by some margin, 5/10 clear of anyone else on the grid at the moment. Thomas Ronhard does his best and closes up by just under 0.2 of a second, but it was not enough to beat Barry. Olli Tormala decides he wants a crack at it, and he goes into provisional pole position of a 1 minute 20.2. A lot of these drivers you'll see doing 2 runs, so that means Ruben Pedreño is going to be the next across the line, and he is going to go quickest, and Chinaka Clay is going to cross the line again to go fastest of all. They're all following in a formation. I think there's a slight dry line forming.
Yeah, it's getting quicker and quicker. The track is ramping up as Luke Smith goes second of all in the order and gets himself alongside Chinaka Clay on that front row with 6.5 minutes to go. It could be a case of last man across the line here in qualifying. Here comes Yumulo around the final corner. Up to the line he comes. What can he do? Is he going to stick it on pole position? Nope, he goes 5th. 1 minute 20.491 for Dario Yumulo. What about Brendan Lee, the 2-time F1 Esports World Champion? Heads round the final corner now. No DRS active in these damp conditions. Where can he go? He can go on to pole. Brendan Lee, 119.7, goes fastest of all in qualifying. Can Barry Buraman beat him? No, he can't. 119.9 for him. Ronhard behind him on the road. He can beat them both. A 119.6 from him. And he now moves to the top of the order. But here comes Tormala again. He likes to slip and slide on the ice in Finland. And on the slippery, slidey streets of Monaco, he goes 4th on a 120.0. As Simon Shooter ends his last run of qualifying. But he's not on a quick lap. He is 10th.
Well, it's all ramping up at the moment in qualifying. Chinaka Clay is the next across the line, and he goes to the top of the order with a 119.592. But again, Dario Yumulo could be the one to beat him. He's 7/10 up on his previous best. The track conditions are suiting these intermediate tyres very nicely at this point, and he has gone quickest through the second sector, through Raskas, the Alpine car, who put on a spectacular performance in Q2, is about to come out of the final corner now of Anthony Nose and to cross the line without DRS. He goes to the top, provisional pole by about 5,000 of a second. But again, Barry Buraman is pushing in Q3, and he could be the one to snatch pole from Dario.
Yeah, but Brendan Lee's coming first, and he's coming quickly. He goes into the 119.1s. So Brendan Lee beats him. Here comes the Iranian Barry Buraman up to the line. He goes second. He can't beat Lee. Barry Buraman cannot dispatch Brendan Lee, and it's a 2-time F1 Esports World Champion on top, making his debut in PSGL this year. Now then, Brendan Lee, top of the order. Well, form's temporary, class is permanent. What a lap from him. He's on provisional pole at the minute here in qualifying. With 4.5 minutes to go, it's Brendan Lee on top here in Monaco.
Yeah, but I don't think he's done there, because he's already 2/10 up in Sector 1. He's just come through 48 now. There's an Alpine of Dario Yumulo also improving by just a few hundredths in front of him, but I don't think it'll be enough to beat the performance of Brendan Lee so far in Q3. 2-time F1 Esports champion, and he's just coming through the second sector split at the exit of Tabac, and he's finding a further couple of tenths. He's not quickest anymore in the first sector. That belongs to Simon Shooter, so we'll pick him up later on after Brendan Lee's done with his lap as he comes now through Raskas, and he pulls into the pit lane. Even though he was finding an improvement, that leads it all the more sweeter for Simon Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter's out there. Barry Buraman pulls into the pits on the mini-map in the bottom corner, so we won't watch him. We'll keep an eye on Diamond Shooter, who's not done a representative time yet. 1:31.7, the quickest we've seen from him so far. Now, are the drivers waiting in the pits for maybe some dry tyres at the end of the session? I don't think so. I don't think it'll be ready for those, as Diamond Shooter makes his way into the Raskas now. And then Anthony Nose, is he going to come into the pits? No, yes, there was a bit of indecision there, but he has chose to come into the pits. So Diamond Shooter now in there, and Nicholas Longley is the man out there on an outlap. Is he going to come straight back in? Nope, he's going to take us for a run, Dan. So let's keep an eye on the man that put it on pole last week at Silverstone with that impressive 125.3.
Here comes Nicholas Longate, yet to put in the time in Q3, and he's just coming through Sandervot now as he heads to the uphill climb at Massenet corner. This is just coming up now. Here he goes up the hills, weaving left and right through there, and then he takes a slow run through Massenet and the Casino Square. It's a downhill run towards Mirabeau corner, braking just before the just wherever you feel like in these wet conditions. Who knows where you brake? Then in towards the hotel chicane, where you're reaching speeds of 33 kilometers per hour. I'm struggling to get my words out at the moment, Andy, as here he comes through Portier corner now and off the exit where you get to the dry part of the circuit, the tunnel. Be careful not to lose grip through here, otherwise you'll be sent into a spin. Downhill now towards the Nouvelle chicane for Nicholas Longate. Overshoots the corner a bit, but he manages to keep it on circuit and keep it valid, but I think he has backed off here.
Yeah, so he has backed off, has Nicholas Longay then. So he's not on a quick lap at the minute. Yanni Tormala, the first to start these final runs of qualifying, and he really pushed it going up the hill. So Tormala on a lap then, looked very sharp at the start of the session, but no one's looked sharper than Brendan Lee up to this point, and I think Tormala has bailed out of that current lap, so he's not on one. Who is on one? Shanaka Clay, the championship leader, he's on one, Dan.
Here he comes, he just 2 tenths up, casually purple through sector 1 with a 20.636 for the Aston Martin driver. He's coming through the hairpin now, the slowest part of the track, downhill towards Portier. Of course, Jensen Button and Pascal Wehrlein had their collision in 2017, but no cars to get in the way of the Aston Martin, as here he goes down towards the Nouvelle chicane, the hardest corner on the Formula 1 game, and has he nailed it? You bet he has. Off the exit of the corner, Shanaka Clay looking like he's hooking everything up at the moment. He's got a minute left in this qualifying session, and he's 8 tenths up on his previous best time, but he is not secure. Other drivers are improving at the moment. Shanaka Clay's got to do all that he can in the final sector here through Raskas now and towards the final corner of Anthony Nose. Can he do this? Can he set provisional pole and jump Brendan Lee, Barry Burman and Dario Mulo? Shanaka Clay to the line, the first time in the 1 minute 18.
Yeah, well, good effort from him. Tormala not on a quick lap, so Nicholas Longay, he's validated his lap, so we can't pick up him. We need to go to Ron Hart. Ron Hart, he's purple through the middle sector. The man who really impressed on debut in this top tier back a few weeks ago in the opener in Portimao. Can he now put his car to the top of the timesheets in qualifying? No, not quite. He cannot quite deny the top man, Shanaka Clay. Pedreño's lap is invalidated, so what about Yumulo? Up to the line, he stays in P5. But now then, let's keep an eye on Brendan Lee, the two-time F1 Esports World Champion, rolling back the years to 2017 and 18, heading for the line. Is it Paul? Yes, it is! 1:18.681. Brendan Lee, Barry Burman can't beat him. Barry Burman seeing the checkered flag. Who can topple Brendan Lee here? At the minute, he is the king of Monaco. He's the master of Monaco. Can Simon Shooter deny him? He's currently 10th quickest. Needs to put a lap in to try and topple Brendan Lee in the closing stages of qualifying. Through Raskas he goes. A little squirt of the throttle and into the final corner, and now edges his way up to the line. Can Simon Shooter deny Brendan Lee? He can't deny him. He's still on top. So it's all on the likes of Longay and Yanni Tormala. Tormala 9 tenths up on his previous best. That would be some order to find a little bit more to beat Brendan Lee. He won't do it. He goes 6th. And now we look at Nicholas Longay, who is 1.5 seconds up on his previous best. Can he steal pole from Brendan Lee? No! He's 7th fastest, and I think that might be it, unless Ruben Pedreño or Daniel Yumulo can beat him. Pedreño can't. Yumulo, he can't either, and Brendan Lee is on pole in PSGL PC for the first time ever. What a lap from Lee. He's on top, Dan.
Class truly is permanent with that lap there from Brendan Lee on pole in Monaco. Can he see the checkered flag at the end of the race? He's got 39 laps to do it. He'll be racing Shanaka Clay, Barry Burman, Simon Shooter. This is gearing up to be an incredible race here, but what a run from Brendan Lee, proving us all wrong, and he goes to the top of the timing sheets.
What a story here in Monaco. What a qualifying section it was. The most important qualifying section of the entire year. These esports drivers have been really tested tonight. The weather has caused havoc here in Monte-Carlo. What will the race bring? It's Brendan Lee on pole position for Ferrari. He's joined on the front row by Shanaka Clay. Barry Buremand is third. Simon Schutter is fourth. Then it's Thomas Ronhard in fifth with Yoni Tormala in sixth. Nicholas Longley starts this race from 7th. Alongside him on row 4 is Ruben Pedreño. Then it's Dario Yamulo and Luke Smith. So Brendan Lee, two-time champ, joined in the front row by championship leader Shanaka Clay. This is going to be very, very, very tasty, Dan.
Yep, absolutely, and we could be hearing from any of those drivers in the interview room at the end of the race, but we do have 39 laps to contend with in this race, and I'm just wondering what the weather conditions are going to be like. We saw everything from dry to full wet in quali, so we got the full array of what Mother Nature can provide us, but what are we going to get in this race? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, really, really looking forward to it, Dan. It has been a really exciting qualifying session. We predicted it would be exciting. We know how important that qualifying is in Monaco. It is absolutely massive, but it was Brendan Lee who gets the lap in there. And Dan, a quick word on Brendan Lee. You know, it was a headline news when he said he was returning to league racing. You know, he and Jarno Opmeer, of course, both two-time F1 Esports World Champions, both back-to-back. The only two ever to have done it, and it's great to have them both here in this league. And yeah, Brendan Lee, he adds so much quality to the league, and fair play to him. I'm really pleased for him to get that pole position tonight.
Yeah, sorry, I've just been a bit distracted at the moment, Andy. We've got some news at the for this qualifying session. We're getting a restart of the lobby first off, but Dario Yamulo has been excluded from Q3. He's going to be starting 15th in this race because he rejoined. He's got alternate weather conditions. That means he's going to drop down to 15th. Luke Smith is going to be promoted to 9th. And that really does put a twist in the tail. So that incredible lap that we saw, I believe it's due to the weather conditions being messed up. We saw that at round number 1 in the opposite way, where I think it was Daniele Haddad. He had full wet conditions in the dry. So it's the complete other way round. And it's really unfortunate that it's ended this way for Yamulo because it looks so good for him.
Yeah, it did look really good. We were singing his praises, but in the end, he has been excluded from qualifying. Different track conditions. It's a kind of a game issue. I can't really blame Yamulo for it. But in the interest of fairness, he has been excluded from qualifying and drops to 15th place. So while we do that, that obviously means we'll have a lobby restart. So bear with us, folks. We do have a race coming, but it will take some time as we reshuffle the grid and have a lobby restart. But yes, Dan, obviously you were distracted moments ago by that news. Brendan Lee, let's have a word on him. Pole position, great lap, and you know, you've just got to be really pleased for him. It's great to have him in the PSGL, isn't it?
Yeah, it was spectacular stuff from Brendan Lee there. Just having to get back into the lobby now. And I'm really excited to see what he can do in the race. Of course, the old saying goes, form is temporary, class is permanent. Two-time F1 Esports champion, back from the olden days of F1 2017 and 18, where a particular league owner was a part of the F1 Esports series. I'm just trying to think. I can't put my finger on it.
I don't know who it is. Yeah,
that guy, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just gloss over it. We forget who it is. But yeah, brilliant. Anyway, what a great lap from Brendan Lee. Great to have him on pole. But I mean, usually there's a bit of intrigue, a bit of suspense about who we think will win the race. Being Monaco, he is favourite, strong favourite. Dan, who are you going for? Do you think there's anyone out there who could maybe do something different? Obviously, because they qualified on inters, with the exception of Ronhard in Q2. You know, it might lead to some interesting strategy choices. So, are you still going for? Would you go for Brendan Lee for victory? I personally will. I think he'll win from pole. Would you agree with that?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I think I'll be a contrarian here. I'll say Barry Buremand from 3rd position on the grid, I think he's going to be the winner at the end of this one. So I'll go with Barry Burman just to be a contrarian to you. You know, we can't have the same options and everything, but I do think Brendan Lee and indeed anyone else who's really in the top 5, they've all got sort of the best chance of winning today.
Yeah, they do. And I'm interested to hear, folks, in the chat. There's a very good number of you guys watching tonight, which is really exciting to see. So if you're new, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We will be here most weeks, and I'll even tell you when we'll be here, because here's the calendar. We'll be here most weeks at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night, UK time. We'll be here next week in France, then a couple of week break, then we head to Hungary, Austria, Saudi, etc, etc. So if you're new to the channel and you want to watch this and you're really excited by what you've seen from these top esports drivers, be sure to like and subscribe to the PSGL channel. We'll be bringing you the action on all of these dates throughout the season, very early on in the championship, of course. And of course, why not? While we're here, take a look at the championship situation. And it's already getting quite tasty, because Shinaka Clay, he might have an 11-point lead, but he's second on the grid, and he's got Barry Burman, his closest rival, and your tip for victory right behind him. And surely Shinaka will already be thinking, I need to try and beat this guy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to extend that advantage as much as he can to really stamp his authority in the early stages of this championship. Still, it is anyone's game in PSGL. You know, we've got 15 rounds of this championship coming up, and we're only at race number 3. So I'm seeing people saying that, you know, people are out of contention already, or others are lacking and stuff. You know, anyone can win from their position at the moment. They just need a good few races, a string of good luck, good performances as well. So you can't count anyone out at this point.
Yeah, we can't count anyone out at all. So yeah, Shinaka Clay looking good at the minute. He is on 28 points, but let us know, folks, who do you think will get themselves the victory tonight? I'm really looking forward to it as we get ready. We're nearly ready in the lobby. We've got 18 of the drivers in, and we'll hope to get the rest of them in pretty soon. But let's have a little think about this Monaco circuit then, Dan. Obviously, we know it's very difficult to overtake on. First race held here in real life Formula 1 back in 1950. You know, it's been on the Formula 1 calendar for years. I think the first time it didn't host a race was due to the pandemic back in 2020. So, you know, it's been on the Formula 1 calendar for a long time, but a first time for PC and PSGL. So the driver's getting a first taste of it tonight, and wow, they're really getting an exciting race. It's usually a run over a 78 lap distance at full 100%, but here at PSGL we run 39 laps. That's half distance, 50% race coming up, 19 turns, and it's full throttle for 59% of the lap. And Dan, it's a very short run down to that first corner, just 114 metres. Very crucial that Brendan Lee gets a solid start and holds that lead into turn 1, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. If he doesn't get a good start, drivers behind, they'll be sending in the heroics into Sandavon. I know everyone likes that reference. You know, Jeff will be on the headset to all the drivers, I'd say, not going up the inside. But you know, it is all tempting. You know, if Brendan Lee doesn't get a good start, I'd imagine Barry Burman's gonna seize an opportunity, or anyone, in fact, who's starting right behind Brendan Lee. So you know, you got to think about that coming into this race, and it's going to be one hell of an intense start. We are just at the moment, we're waiting for the lobby to be reset. Everyone's in at the moment. I believe we're just getting the grid sorted for this one, but we should be racing very soon.
Yeah, we are going to get underway very soon. If you're just joining us, folks, the reason for the pause is Dario Yumulo. He rejoined qualifying in Q2 and set a lap on what was essentially, due to a glitch in the game, a different track condition. It was wet, his track was drier than others, and because of that he's been moved from the top 10 back down to 15th in the order. So we're doing a grid reset, sort the grid into the correct order, and then we'll get back underway. All 20 drivers are now in the lobby, the commentators are in there, as you can see, and we'll be getting underway for that formation lap very shortly. But we can tell you that the weather has been set to dry. So it does appear that the weather conditions from qualifying into the race we're going to be dry. So that means we will have a dry race throughout, Dan, and it means we will have an interesting choice of strategy. Now, I'm interested to hear, folks, in the chat, what would you go for? Would you start the race on softs, fresh softs, or would you go to fresh mediums and then change back to the softs? What would be the choice? I don't think we'll see anyone on the hard tyre, but we'll have to wait and see. You never know what these drivers will choose to do, Dan, but I think maybe the likes of Burman, and Clay might go for softs if in the off chance Brendan might go medium to try and get that jump off the line.
I think they'll start on the set of the medium compound attire. I know the only driver who has to start on a particular compound is Thomas Ronhaar, because of course he went into Q3 on a set of the softs. He managed to out-qualify some of the intermediate runners, so he has to start on a set of the soft compound attire. Hopefully he's been reminded of that, because of course in all the changing conditions, you know, things can get muddled up. But I'd say the mediums is what we're going to see for the start of this race, which is coming up soon because all the drivers beginning to ready up.
Yep, 20 seconds to go on the timer in the lobby, so we will not be far away from getting underway for the third race of the PSGL F1 PC season. It's Brendan Lee on pole position. It's Shanaka Clay alongside him, the championship leader on 28 points, 11 clear of the man who starts third in this Grand Prix, Barry Buraman. Dry conditions for the Monaco Grand Prix. We've just witnessed an incredible wet qualifying, and the formation lap for this Grand Prix is just a few seconds away. I can see a few of you getting a little bit impatient in the comments. Fear not, folks, it's coming in just a few moments' time. But quickly then, Dan, what about the guys down at the back? We had the 4 drivers with qualifying bans. They had Josh Idawu, Matthias Van Erven, Alessio Di Capua, and Daniele Haddad. Some very strong names there. What are they going to have to do to get back through the order? It's going to be very difficult to overtake for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they might need to play the strategy game and probably go for an undercut early on, utilise that to the best of their ability, and then come back later on in the Grand Prix, have that track position, and when they're slower on the tyres, well, then they can be in a strong position. Of course, if they're not going to be able to be overtaken, they put up a good defence, then surely they could see themselves into the points. Of course, they might have to rely on some other drivers having their own incidents. Being Monaco, it is typically the most difficult circuit on the Formula 1 Grand Prix and one of the most difficult tracks in motorsport in general. So really, you have to be careful. You've got to keep your wits about you. But I'd imagine the drivers at the back, they're going to be conservative because it is so easy to stack up in the first part of the laps. So we just got to wait and see, Andy.
Yeah, we just got to wait and see. It will be an exciting race, that's for sure. Waiting to see if anyone can try a daring move down into Sandevot, perhaps at the Nouvelle Chicane at the end of the tunnel. Will we see some moves there? What about into Rascasse? Wouldn't be surprised to see a move there. Or maybe at the top of the hill into Massenet. Plenty of opportunity for the drivers to overtake. But we can now go into the race broadcast. This is what we've all been waiting for. The formation lap is underway, and we can now take a look at the choice of tyres from some of these drivers out on the racetrack. So let's maybe bring the menu up and get all the details you guys are looking for ahead of this Grand Prix. And there it is there. And Brendan Lee, the pole sitter, let's just run through it again. He's on softs. Shanaka Clay, Barry Buraman, all on softs. Simon Schutter has gone for the medium in P4 ahead of Thomas Ronhaar and Yoni Tormela on mediums. Nicholas Longuet is next ahead of Ruben Pedreño and Luke Smith, with Danny Beresney completing the top 10 on softs. Then 3 straight medium runners: Jake Benham, Liam Parnell and Sam McBride, Louis Welsh on softs, the Padman, Daniel Yumilo, Simon Fagan, Alessio Di Capua, Matthias Van Erven, Josh Idawu, and then Daniele Haddad on the soft tyre. Now, interesting to see a lot of softs and mediums. Does that suggest we might be seeing some rain?
It could be, but then we do have the dry conditions, and I know that the report and accuracy is set to perfect, so there's no confusion as to what time of what conditions we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see any rain. This is purely just strategical from these drivers. It'll be interesting to see what Simon Schutter can do, whether he can keep up with the top 3 and also fend off the likes of Thomas Ronhaar and Nicholas Longuet on a set of the soft compound tyre behind them. But the formation lap coming to an end. All questions as to the tyre choices will be answered as soon as we get into this one, Andy.
Well, here we go then. It's going to be a first time for PSGL on PC, the Monaco Grand Prix. So here they are moving into position. Brendan Lee's car's glitching for us on our screen, but I'm pretty sure it will move to the correct position. I don't think Michael Massey would be too pleased if he started there. I don't think Brendan Lee would be too happy if he started there either. But all the cars now making their way into position. Daniele Haddad, the last man to move into position now, and we are about to get underway for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. All the cars in position, and hopefully, yep, Brendan Lee's car resets itself into the correct position, and now, in a few moments' time, the 5 lights will come on, and we will be able to get racing. the Monaco Grand Prix. Here we go then, 5 lights on. And we're racing in the Duel of the Crown for the first time in PC and PSGL. It's a good start from Brendan Lee. He holds his lead into turn 1, ahead of Shanaka Clay, Barry Buneman and Simon Shooter as they all weave their way between the barriers and up the hill and into Massenet corner. Danny Beresney down in 9th place. Looks like he's making moves. Look at that, for almost 3 wide going into Massenet corner. And side by side is Luke Smith and Danny Beresney going down the hill and into the braking zone. Luke Smith on the inside, Beresney on the outside, and that is brilliant racing at the start of the race. They're still side by side, and Beresney's through, and then a bump from Jake Benham in the rear as he tries to get through, and Luke Smith as well. He can't quite do it. 2 by 2. Some of the drivers going through there. Louis Welch making gains. Simon Van Gang too. But it is Brendan Lee making the start he needs at the front of the race stand.
Absolutely splendid stuff from Brendan Lee to cover off Shanaka Clay into the first corner so aggressively, and I think Clay was trying to defend from Barry Burman, who got a good start. Simon Shooter already beginning to drop off from these guys, and he's going to be at the mercy of Thomas Ronhar, who's on the fresh set of the soft compound of tyre behind the Alfa Romeo, who's getting so close to the rear of him in towards Raskas corner. But I think the slipstream might just save time in here, and this is where he is going to play into effect as now the first lap has been completed. Brendan Lee with the fastest lap. Van Erven already into the pit lane with some damage, I believe. Yeah, let's pick him up then. Matthias Van Erven, yep, brand new front line going on his car. Not going well for him as Thomas Ronhar is really pushing behind Simon Shooter, not quite close enough to make the move as we have now lost Van Erven. He's retired from the race, so an early retirement for him, and it's game over as far as he is concerned. Ronhar trying everything he can to get ahead of Simon Shooter. There's quite the difference in pace. He's already 1.2 seconds off of Barry Buneman, so I'm wondering if Simon Shooter has picked up some early damage here. We can go on board with him now as he continues to defend from Thomas Ronhart. Is he close enough going into the Nouvelle Chicane? He is not, but without doubt that is probably going to be the best spot for any overtaking, and already Ronhart looking pretty frustrated behind the Dutchman. Yeah, he's losing a lot of time being behind Shooter at the moment. And in through the swimming pool section, you'll see he's getting so close to the rear of the Alfa Romeo. Barry Burman's already in the pit lane here.
Oh, is he made a bit?
On lap number 2, he might have had some wing damage, but as they cross the line to complete lap number 2, that's odd from Burman. I think he might be getting a wing change. I'm not too sure what the strategy is there.
No, he's left the pits. I don't think it is a wing change. He's gone to mediums. This is a 2-stop from Barry Burman and some clean air. Not too sure. But you'd expect track position to be the best option if that was the case. But Barry Buneman with a very early stop here and onto the medium tyre. Well then, let us know in the comments section what you think of that one, because I am as puzzled as anyone else. Out back onto the track goes Barry Buneman, the winner of our opening race of the season, and he's on the mediums. Well then, let's see what he can do from there. As Ronhar is up behind Shooter, and is he going to think about a move into the Nouvelle Chicane? He's getting closer. Not close enough, and he stays in P4, Dan. What's your thoughts on that one then?
It's an odd one from Barry Burman, but he has got the clear air, and drivers are going to be fighting. He's already 5 seconds off of the back of the grid, so he's not in the worst position in the world. Mediums can go a long way in this race, but now DRS has been enabled as we're on lap number 3, and surely, yeah, Shanaka Clay's into the pits as well. Thomas Ronhar has decided to box, so all of these guys reacting to what Barry has done, coming into the pit lane there. That relieves the pressure off of Simon Shooter, but Ronhar, Shanaka Clay, Licorice Longay and Danny Beresney, all those guys strapping on a fresh set of the mediums. Where are they going to emerge in comparison to Barry Burman, who's just come out of Anthony Knows now, and he's used up all of his ERS on this lap, but I think he might just be behind Shanaka Clay. He's closing to the Aston Martin, but he has managed to maintain that position ahead of Barry Burman, so reacting to the undercut very well there, and he's just about managed to stay ahead.
Yeah, wow then. Well, there you go. Barry Burman pulling the pin very early on, and it didn't quite work out. Meanwhile, Simon Shooter has stayed out, and that means that Thomas Ronhar's pit stop might give him the opportunity to get ahead. So that is certainly going to be an opportunity for him to get up into 4th place. Brendan Lee carries on his merry way though, on the soft compound. It'd be silly for him to pit at this stage because, of course, he's on softs, and you'd think they'd still have plenty of tyre life in them. So let's just keep an eye on the lap times. Is Brendan Lee going to pit? Yes, he is. Okay, he's coming in now. Immediate cover from him. Simon Shooter will take the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. He didn't have much pace, this Shooter, but he's decided to carry on and keep in his own race. So Lee into the pits. Where's he going to be in relation to our championship leader, Shinaka Clay? That's the big question. And Haddad is already backing them all up almost. Is he backing them up, or is he going to let him through and maybe slot in front of Barry? This is going to be key. He is going to do that, but this is for the lead of the race. Oh, Shinaka Clay not quite close enough to battle with Brendan Lee. And Lee has got the net lead in front of him, but Daniele Haddad looks like he's playing the team game, and he's going to be the rear buffer, is he? To Shinaka Clay, and now he's going to hold up Barry massively, and Barry will be furious, and Barry goes down the inside. Oh, what a move that is from Barry Buraman! Who says you can't overtake in Monaco? He sticks it up the inside into Mirabel corner, and Buraman gets the move done, and move he simply had to make, Dan.
Opportunistic as ever from Barry Burman, and I think Thomas Ronner is going to pull the same sort of move in towards the Nova chicane. He's closing to the rear of the Aston Martin, to the inside at the braking zone. He goes up the inside, he makes that move stick easy as you like. Daniele Haddad wasn't able to put up the stoic defense like you'd see from a number 2 driver, but Brendan Lee riding over the bumpy parts, the curves all over the circuit, struggling at the moment to get these mediums up to heat. We've seen already some brilliant moves at the beginning of this Grand Prix, and we're only at lap number 6.
Wow, it's been a breathless start to the Grand Prix. Barry Buraman pulling a superb move into Mirabel corner. Alessio Di Capua behind Simon Vagang. Is he thinking about doing something similar? No, he's not close enough. Meanwhile, in front of that, we can see there's a lack of pace here from the padman Louis Welsh, and he has got quite the train behind him. It's a truly train behind Louis Welsh. Liam Parnell, Dario Yamilo, Simon Vagang and Alessio Di Capua, and even Josh Idabu joining the back of that train as Simon Shooter continues to string them out at the front from Joni Tormala and Luke Smith. So none of these guys choosing to react to what the leaders did, and that could make for an interesting strategy. Are those medium tyres that the likes of Buraman, Clay, Brendan Lee and Ron Hart and Beresney all fitted early doors, are they going to be dying at the end of the race, or are they going to be in decent order? Well, that remains to be seen as Louis Welsh continues to hold these guys up. Another question I've got is if, you know, the likes of Lee catch the back of this train, are they going to be going stuck behind them for so long that it might allow Shooter, Tormala and Smith to pull away? That's another big question we have to consider, because look, already Brendan Lee 2.8 seconds off the back of that train, and if they're not lapping quickly, that will allow the likes of Shooter, Tormala and Smith to stretch it out.
It's not looking like the best call from all the leaders who came into the pit lane. Timon Shooter is in a terrific position at the moment. He's got so many cars acting as a buffer for him at this point in the race. Brendan Lee is now 1.8 seconds back, so he is closing to this pack of cars, and if they're all fighting stuck behind Louis Welch, it's going to be even worse for all of these drivers, as I think that might be what we could start seeing, because Alessio Di Capua is closing to the rear of Simon Weigang, and Josh Ado's trying to stick a nose in there as well. This is going to cause havoc for the leaders at this point who have come into the box, and it all happens behind the Louis Welch train.
Yeah, this is incredible. So then, has this cost the likes of Lee, Clay and Buraman? Because look, they're going to join the back of the train behind Louis Welsh. So I've now got the gap to the leader up for you guys, folks. Here you go, 13.5 Brendan Lee is from the lead of this race. But as he joins the back of this train, the pace is much slower. So can the guys at the front stretch it out, undercut, and come out in front of this train? Look at that in the background. There was that Yamulo having a look up the inside of Parnell. He wasn't quite close enough and might now have a go down the inside. Is he going to try the Buraman? No, he's not. No way through for him there. But Louis Welsh is going so slowly, and Lee is now on the back of the... Look at this from Yamulo down the inside into the hairpin, trying the move on Liam Parnell. Side by side, that could get interesting. Well, that is interesting. He's ghosting through him. Yamulo, like a ghost. It's not Halloween, but he's got it done up at the 7th place in the most unsatisfying way possible.
I don't know who's actually going to come out on top there, as Dario comes out of ghost mode finally. There he is, ahead of Louis Welch. Interesting strategies from Yamulo there, but I do love the F1 games sometime. I just quickly I looked up the pit lane loss It's 16 seconds at this point, so if Time & Shooter were to pit now, he would still be behind Thomas Ronhart. But on a fresh set of soft compound tyre, he'd be in a great position as they're all filing in a train at the moment. I think a move could be made for some of these positions as Alessio De Capua could have a look up the inside on Simon Weigang. I don't know where to look, Andy.
But look at Brendan Lee, look at this, already up to 14 seconds. It'll keep going up. Well, these guys keep battling. He needs to clear them. He has to clear them, or Shooter, Tormala, Smith will all pull away. And Lee's going for it round the outside into Mirabel. Has he made it work? Inside line now, going into the corner, and he's through. And look at that, that's incredible. Buraman trying to do it as well, and Buraman can't quite do it. Lee cannot get Idaho. He's going to try and switch back into Portier. He can't do it. Look at the gap, 16.5. He's lost 2 seconds in the sector. Lee in trouble from losing the lead of this race to Time & Shooter. The early stop not working for Brendan Lee. What an incredible development in this race. He's going to try down the inside into the back. He's not close enough. Can we come to Monaco every single week, Dan?
Oh my word, I'm not too sure what's going through the head of Brendan Lee, but I'd imagine in the cockpit there's a whole lot of curse words going on there for the two-time esports champion. He went to the outside, a daring move on Josh Azowu, and it didn't quite work, but now he could possibly send it in towards Sander Von. I don't think so. He's not close enough whatsoever. Brendan Lee being held monumentally by this pack, and now he could go up the hill and towards Massenet corner, down the inside for Brendan Lee on Josh Azowu, who's finally made that move stick, but he's got a whole other gaggle of cars in front of him that he needs to clear, and this is all going to play into the hands of Time & Shooter, Yoni Tormana and Luke Smith at the end of this.
Well, it does look that way now. Time & Shooter, is he going to pull off the victory here? There's a genuine possibility unless Brendan Lee, Shanaka Clay, Barry Buraman, Thomas Ronhart and Danny Beresney can all start clearing these cars. But the problem is, Louis Welsh at the head of the train presumably has serious front wing damage and he's holding them all up. Look at that! Louis Welsh, the pad man, causing drama in this race, and Brendan Lee still around 17 seconds from the lead. This is incredible. I've never seen anything like it, Dan.
Dario Yamulo's not been able to clear Louis Welch at this point, so he's just been holding up this entire train for the whole time. I think finally off the exit of Anthony knows that Josh Azowu, I think he's pulled into the pit lane there. He's got a time penalty to his name. As Dario Yamulo up the outside.
What a move! What a move, Yamulo! Round the outside into turn 1 on Louis Welsh. That is absolutely epic stuff from Daryl Yamulo. He clears Louis Welsh and is finally free. Brendan Lee, though, the gap now 17, sorry. 0.2, he's going to try and go round the outside again on De Capua. Can he make it work? He needs to be careful because Clay is there as well. Now round the outside of De Capua into the hairpin, inside for the next corner. Brendan Lee, that is absolutely sensational. Round the outside into the hairpin. Are you kidding me on? That is incredible.
He's making the best of a bad situation by pulling off some spectacular moves. He pulled one off on Josh Azowu and now on Alessio De Capua, the two-time F1 Esports World Champion, really putting on a show. He's now got Simon Weigang, an F1 Esports veteran in his own right as well, in front of him in the Alpine car. And we'll see if he's able to clear him. He's got 4 laps fresher medium tyres than the Alpine, and they're still being held up by Louis Welch. I think Liam Parnell might try and seize an opportunity to close to the rear of the Haas car. He's getting closer, not close enough. Oh my, Brendan Lee almost going up the inside, almost into the back of Simon Weigang. Thought better of it, but he's lost some time there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to thank Louis Welsh for making this a really exciting race. I tell you what, let's be honest. We as commentators, we look to big up the race. We always try to do that. But did anyone really expect this? We've had Buraman up the inside into Mirabel, Brendan Lee round the outside into the hairpin. He's trying it again. This time on Simon Weigang. He's a tough customer. He can't get through. Meanwhile, Buraman and Clay ghosting with each other, the top 2 in the championship, and Buraman is going to win out of this situation, it would seem. Never great to watch 2 cars ghosting with one another, but it's important for the championship, so we will keep an eye on it. Who is going to come out on top here? It looks like Buraman at the minute, and he will come out on top as a result of the ghosting, and that is a kick in the teeth for Shanaka Clay, and a big win for Barry Buraman.
Barry Brumman, if they manage to get into the points at the end of this race, well, he's going to be in a great position, but sliding through the swimming pool section, and he's caught to the gaggle of cars in front of him. He's got Alessio de Capua to clear as they're all bunched up within a second of each other, I'd imagine. And who is going to be the one to bite the bullet and go up the inside? No one in towards turn number 1. The Monaco train really coming into full effect, but Brendan Lee has got the run up the hill, and he could pull a move in towards Massenet corner on Simon Viking. Simon Viking having to defend at the moment from the charging Ferrari car, who just can't find an avenue, can't find an opportunity, possibly down in towards Mirabeau. He goes up the inside. No, he couldn't do it.
This is epic. This is absolutely epic. I'm loving this. I am really, really loving this. Simon Shooter, Yanni Tormola, Luke Smith and Jake Benham, come in the pits now. Right now, because the gap's now 21.3. If you don't pit now, Lee will clear these guys pretty soon, and he will get back into contention. But the race has been ruined for these guys that were leading the race. It's been flung up in the air because Louis Welch has got damage, and he's held everyone up. Brendan Lee, despite his best efforts, despite some scintillating moves, is still in real danger. The leaders continue for one more lap. What a ridiculous result we're going to have here as things carry on like this. Turns out you don't need to be on pole to win a race, you just need the right strategy. Brendan Lee trying everything around the outside of Simon Vigan. What a view we have here as Louis Welch finally frees them up. And now Shooter, Tormola, Smith and Benham have got to pit now. They have got to do it now if they want to win the race. Surely, Dan.
And again, if they stay out, they could go onto the softs at the end of this race pretty easily. So it's really just a moral decision for them, as they want security on the hard, or they want the track, or they want the fresher soft tyres. You know, we've seen Brendan Lee be able to make these moves, but of course it's been so difficult for him. So it's really a gamble to go for any of them. But I don't see a reason for them to pit at the moment.
Yeah, for me, I would probably go. If it was me personally, and I was looking at this situation, I'd probably go safe, pit earlier, and make sure I had track position. But I'm not an esports driver. I'm interested to hear what people think in the comments. What would you do, Dan? Would you pit now? And I'll tell you who is pitting now. Luke Smith, undercut on Simon Shooter and Yanni Tormola, and he's gone for the hard compound. So he has decided now is the moment. So what can Luke Smith do? Will he be ahead or behind Brendan Lee? I'm pretty darn sure he will be ahead, because here is Brendan Lee in all sorts of pain and agony behind Parnell and Vigang. He can't get through. Luke Smith is long gone. They're not even in the shot yet, and Luke Smith rejoins the track. And will that pull the pin on Simon Shooter, Yanni Tormola and Jake Benham? Luke Smith currently on track as the lead man that's made a pit stop.
Yeah,
this is nuts.
I think that'll trigger them to come into the pit lane. We'll see what Luke Smith's pace is in comparison to them. He's currently, how far is he back? He's 19 seconds back, and if he's not quicker, then there is no reason for Shooter, Tormola, Benham, all those guys to come into the pits. It's only when he gets quicker than them, that's when they need to come into the pits. As Longay has gone onto the curbs, onto the pavement at the hotel hairpin, and I think, yeah, we've got another ghosting situation, this time with Ronhar. And they're going to ride together. We've seen it 3 times in this race now, as they're inside of each other in towards the Nouvelle Chicane. Who's going to come out on top? I think it's Ronda, almost going into the back of Shanika Clay. I think, yeah, he's just about come out on top there.
Yeah, meanwhile, Brendan Lee has cleared Simon Vigang, so he's got another one. He's only got Liam Parnell to go, and he will be starting to make time on the drivers in front. Interestingly, Shooter, Tormola and Benham stayed out. They did not come into the pit lane. Brendan Lee then, next up Liam Parnell, needs to make the move now and really start applying some pressure. Going down to turn 1, Parnell in the middle of the road, Benham thinks about the outside line. Brendan thinks about the outside line, no way through, as he now go up the hill. Brendan Lee needs to make this move if he wants a good result. He's on the inside into Massenet corner, touching wheels with the Red Bull driver, and Lee is through and up into 7th place, and now he can begin the chase of Luke Smith and the others that have yet to stop. And I'm sure they'll be getting a call now to come into the pit lane. That is Shooter, Tormola and Benham, as Haddad is out of the race in the pit lane though, so we won't have a safety car.
That's 3 DNFs in this Grand Prix, all 3 of them the drivers with qualifying bans, which really does emphasise the importance of qualifying. You're not going to have a good time if you're starting from the back. Are we going to see any pit stops from the top 3? No, we are not. They're all going to stay out. I'm interested to see the Alfa Romeos, what they do. Of course, they have to share a grid spot so in the pit lane, so it is not going to be ideal when it's time for them to pit. at this point in the race. Lap number 16 of 39. We've still got over half of the race left to go. Brendan Lee has already dropped Liam Parnell by 1.2 seconds. So he is flying at the moment, but he's not really catching Luke Smith here.
No, he is not catching Luke Smith at the minute, so he's got work to do, has Brendan Lee. It's not going to plan for him at the minute. Let's drop further down the order, back into that train of drivers who are all scrapping away. The likes of Parnell, Weigang, the Capua and Shinaka. This just tells you how well that Brendan Lee's done. Look at that, he's 3 seconds up the road, he's cleared all of these guys. That's how good a job he's done to clear them. Shinaka Clay's still stuck there, the championship leader, and that is why he's a two-time world champion. You've got to tip your hat to Brendan Lee. Clay trying the outside line that Lee did earlier on to Capua, but he can't do it, and all the while he's going to be losing more positions, more time, and his chances of a strong result are disappearing down the drain very, very quickly. Can he get to Capua now on the run down towards the braking zone? None of the top three have come in this time by either. No, he can, and this just typifies how good a performance has been from Brendan Lee to clear these guys.
I think if Brendan Lee picks up a podium in this race, he'll be my driver of the day. He's been really, really strong in clearing all these drivers. Now 2.2 seconds ahead of Liam Parnell on 4-lap fresher medium tyres. So he's in a really great position, but he is losing time to Luke Smith. He's lost about 4/10 on this lap to the Mercedes car, who is 17 seconds behind the leaders, so he is closing to them. Of course, he'll be on the hard tyres, and they're likely going to pit for a set of the softs. But he'll be, I think, the net leader at the end of this one, as we've lost Ruben Pedranio in the pit lane again. So 4 retirements, all of them in the pit lane. No safety car for that one.
Yep, no safety car for that one. As Luke Smith now. Now, this is another thing that I haven't considered, I've not been thinking about. Gap to leader again. Luke Smith, oh, look at that, down the inside, Ronhar on Shinaka Clay, almost making it work into the hairpin, not quite able to do so. And that means that he stays in P12. But Ronhar now getting frustrated behind Clay for not making the ground he maybe should be. And is Ronhar now going to think about a move into the braking zone? Down at the Nouvelle chicane. Oh, he's getting ever so close, but not close enough to get through, and he stays where he is for now. Any of the leaders in this time by? No. But Luke Smith, gap to the leaders, 16.8. Are they missing the opportunity? Pardon me, the opportunity to come into the pit stand?
It might be, but again, they've got 20 laps left in this Grand Prix. They can extend these mediums another 10, I'd say. They can go golden onto the set of the soft compounder tyre, and then they'll be in a great position. I'm seeing people saying that Brendan Lee's got damage at the moment, but I'm not seeing any on his car. Liam Parnell's picked up a time penalty, defending from Simon Weigang, Alessio De Capua and Shinaka Clay. De Capua might have a look up the inside of Weigang in towards Massenet. Almost had a half look, didn't quite make a move stick. Could he go for a move in towards Mirabeau? Not quite. So still holding up the likes of Clay, Ronhart and Longuet. The battle between Alessio De Capua and Simon Weigang proved to be a bit of a cork in the bottle for them.
Yeah, they're all struggling to make any sort of ground. Shinaka Clay and Ronhart. Ronhart was very close to the back of Clay there. Is he going to maybe consider a move? No, he's not quite close enough as they come out of the corner. The leaders, the top 3 still go on, the top 4 still go on without a pit stop. So they really are stringing this out for a set of soft tyres, and that will mean Luke Smith should have track position on them. So Luke Smith is going to probably be the net leader of this Grand Prix pretty soon. So then, what would you do? Would you be in there? What do you think? Well, oh, and look at that from Ronhart. And oh, that was just lag. Sorry, a bit of lag there from Ronhart. Looked like he was diving up the inside of Clay, but the lag says otherwise. Mind playing tricks with me as Simon Weigang closes in on Parnell into turn 1, not quite close enough. But you've got to say, like, can they pass Luke Smith on soft tyres? That's the big question. As Weigang thinks about it again on Parnell, who's struggling with that time penalty now, and Weigang almost pushing him through Massenet and now into Casino Square. Go on then, have a gamble. You've gone through the casino. No, not quite close enough into Mirabeau, and stays put. But they're all being held up quite significantly behind Liam Parnell at the minute, aren't they? And their races are being destroyed.
Yep, and that really begs the question, why start on the soft compounder tyre if they're going to pit so early, all triggered by Barry Burman? Then it hasn't worked out for anyone who went long on the soft, because Louis Welch is 6 seconds behind all of them, as Simon Weigang closing to the rear of Liam Parnell, not close enough to make a move. Luke Smith has cleared Dario Yamulo, who's gone into the wall there in Sector 3. Could be some light wing damage for the Alpine car. Is he going to come into the box? He's sliding into the pit lane. Yeah, he's going to probably get a wing change. There might have been a bit of aggression from Luke Smith, but he has cleared some traffic. He's also helped Brendan Lee in a sense as well. Our net leader of this Grand Prix currently, Luke Smith.
Yeah, so Luke Smith continues to lead then. Yoni Tormala, Simon Schutters, Jake Benham still going. Will that pit stop come anytime soon from any of those drivers? We wait to see. Schutter, Tormala, Benham and McBride, the 4 drivers in this Grand Prix, yet to make a pit stop. I'll show you now. There you go, plus Vigang and De Capua outside the top 10. So they are the drivers yet to stop. And we wait to see when they will come in this race. Is it going to be this time by? Let's see. When are they going to fit the soft compound tyres? Will they go round for another lap? It looks like it. No, they're not. They're coming in. Both of them. And Jake Benham carries on. He has to, of course, because the other Alpha is in. So this is the key moment of this Grand Prix. Where will they be on the road after this stop? In comes Tormala. In comes Schutter. Where is Luke Smith? He's in the final corner now. Is he going to be the new net leader of this Grand Prix? Where is Schutter? Look to the right-hand side. He's behind him. So Luke Smith then is going to be the net leader of this race. And it's going to be down to Simon Schutter and Yoni Tormala to hunt him down and try and stop Luke Smith from picking up a first Tier 1 victory, as well as Brendan Lee behind them.
Brendan Lee 2.6 seconds behind them at the moment, and then Luke Smith is 3.5 clear from Simon Schutter. It's going to take a lap or two for Schutter's tyres to come up to temperature, and then he can really get on the attack, see if he can overtake Luke Smith, who is on fire at the moment, really quick in qualifying. Of course, in Q2, I believe he topped that session. Didn't quite get a lap in Q3, so he really is in a great position. But Simon Schutter has also got the advantage of the battery, about 60% of the ERS available to him. Then Luke Smith with only about 40%. So Schutter, he's got to do all he can to close to the rear of Luke Smith and then attack for the lead at the end of the race.
Fresh hards then, so can they make it work going on hards? That's the big question. Going to be interesting to see if they can close that gap. 3 seconds it is to Luke Smith. 7 lap younger tyres. Is 7 lap younger tyres enough though on a track where it's difficult to overtake and the degradation isn't that high? That's the question. Jake Benham, by the way, he's going on, so my only assumption is that he plans to go to softs, Dan.
I think he'll opt for a set of the soft compounder tyre. He'll be behind all of his rivals, but he'll be a lot quicker than them. In terms of raw pace, whether he can actually overtake them, that is another question to be answered. But at this point, Simon Schutter is beginning to close already.
Oh, look at this. Sorry, Dan, I'm going to have to come across you as Simon Vigang tries to go around the outside of Liam Parnell. He will now have the inside. Is this finally the moment Vigang makes it work? Look at that behind, meanwhile. Clay still can't get past the Capua, and as a result of his eagerness, loses out to Ronhar. Absolutely nuts. And now they're banging wheels. Ronhar side by side with Shinaka Clay, and now they're going through each other once again down there, and it's Ronhar that's ahead for now as they continue to go through one another. And let's see in the exit of the corner, it looks like it will be Ronhar as they go through the corner. Come on then, stop ghosting. Yes, it will be Ronhar. Sorry Dan, carry on.
I've almost lost my train of thought there. I was enticed by that battle.
Oh, look at that. De Capo's got trouble, and now De Capo's slowing everyone down. Has he got damage? I'm not too sure, but he slowed right down there. And now look at this, it's absolute mayhem. Longhi's coming in there, Clay's coming in too, and De Capo is coming into the pits and finally frees them all up. Whew. Wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going crazy at the minute at the rear of the field. 8th position currently for Simon Vigang, closing to the rear of Liam Parnell, who has been holding him up for a good number of laps at the moment, of course, with a time penalty to his name as well. So Simon Vigang, even if he doesn't make the position up on track, is still going to be ahead come the end of the race, and he is still closing to the rear at the hairpin, but he's not close enough to go by this time. Interesting from De Capua to go onto a set of the softs. He's got 15 laps to make those work. We'll see how that is for him, but maybe that spells an imminent pit stop in the next few laps for Jake Benham and Sam McBride. They still could be in a good position here.
Yeah, they really could be. We'll have to wait and see what tyres they fit. I mean, it's only going to be soft from here, isn't it, you would think? Where will they be in relation? Will they be ahead or behind Brendan Lee? My assumption would be behind Brendan Lee. We'll have to wait and see. But there is only 5 lap difference between Brendan Lee's tyres and Jake Benham, so it won't be easy for Brendan to catch them that much and close that delta up. But I'll tell you what, this is becoming a real slug for Ronhart and Clay. They must be so frustrated. Barry Burnham as well. Really not going to plan at all. Can Ronhart finally get Weigang into turn one? They're banging wheels into the first corner and Weigang fends him off. Ronhart going to try again. Weigang went a little bit wide and is he going to be squeezed there? He was squeezed indeed, and that might allow Shinaka Clay to have a run. Not quite enough to get close enough, and he stays in 10th place as Ronhart is getting increasingly frustrated behind Simon Weigang, and now he thinks about the inside line. No, Weigang has it covered and has all the answers once again. This shows you just how important track position can be. Brendan Lee might have made light work of it, but these guys have been stuck here ever since they got to the back of the train, and it has been a nightmare. As Benham now pits then, so let's have a look down. It must be soft.
It's got to be a set, the soft compound tyre for Jake Benham. Where is he going to merge in the train? Sam McBride stays out for another lap. Luke Smith is coming down the main straight now. Jake Benham just exiting his pit box. Luke Smith clears the Alfa Romeo car, as does Shooter Tormala. What about Brendan Lee? It's going to be close between the pair of them, but I think that Jake Benham is going to be out ahead on that. It's going to be crucial. 5th place for Jake Benham, now 2.5 seconds behind the hard runners. So Jake Benham with 14 laps left in this Grand Prix cannot count that man out.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance. There's no doubt about it. Has he made the right strategy call? He surrendered track position. Well, he hasn't actually, because he was 4th on the road anyway. 3rd on the road anyway. He surrendered 1 place to Luke Smith. But I think that's worth surrendering to put on a set of soft tyres and gamble. That is the one situation where I think surrendering track position might be worthwhile. Can Jake Benham pull off a famous win and overtake 3 cars on hard tyres in front of him? Do not go anywhere, folks. The next 13 laps are going to be some of the most interesting of the season so far. Wow, what a setup this has done.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake Benham is flying at the moment. You just saw DeCapua set the fastest lap. Sam McBride comes into the pit lane from the lead of this race. Luke Smith now no longer the net leader. He is leading this race. But one thing of note, Alessio DeCapua set the fastest lap. He was 2 seconds quicker than Luke Smith on his last lap. So really in a great position is Jake Benham, displaying this kind of pace. He is flying on circuit at the moment, and he's closed already to the rear of Joni Tormler and Simon Shooter.
Well, there's some joy for Thomas Ronhart and Shinaka Clay, by the way, because Simon Weigang is finally pitted. So they're free from him, but they will still have to pass Liam Parnell, who's just up the road. But Sam McBride, by the way, he's come out behind Brendan Lee. But Jake Benham then, as you say, this is the story of the race now. How quickly can he pass Tormala and Shooter, if he can pass them at all? If he can pass them, he gives himself a chance of winning the race by overtaking Luke Smith. Luke Smith is also being caught by these guys anyway, because he's on 7 lap older tyres. We've got 4 drivers fighting for this victory this afternoon. Let us know, folks, who it's going to be. None of them were in the top 4 places on the... Well, one of them was, Shooter. None of them were in the top 3 places on the grid. That's Monaco. Turns out you can overtake if you get the strategy right. Jake Benham then, is he close enough for a move on Joni Tormala into turn 1? No, he's stuck there for now, Dan. Where's he going to do it, if anywhere? Can he do it going up the hill? Let's see if he can try and go round the outside or up the inside into Masseny. He's going to try and gain and set this one up, maybe for a Mirabelle lunge. He's so close to the back of Joni Tormala. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, he has to wait behind him for now. But this is building up into a very exciting finish. Now he goes for the inside line, and is he going to make it work on Joni Tormala? Not quite. He's on the outside now, looking to switch back, going into Portier corner. No, Jake Benham can't quite do it, but what a battle this is shaping up to be. What a final 11 laps we've got coming up. Jake Benham, is he going to go down the inside into the Nouvelle chicane? No, he can't, and he's going to continue to be frustrated by the Finnish driver.
He's so close to the rear of Joni Tormala. I'd imagine if he clears the Finn, his teammate's going to let him right on by and unleash him into the wheel tracks of Luke Smith through the swimming pool section. Jake Benham getting all squirrely behind the AlphaTauri car. Alfa Romeo for Jake Benham. AlphaTauri, Honda power against Ferrari power off the exit of Anthony Knows. Can he go up the inside in towards turn number 1? He uses some of the battery, but no, in towards Sander Bond. He closes again on the exit of the corner. Has he got the grip? Has he got the speed? Here Here he goes up the hill, using up some of the battery. Can he close and get close enough? I don't think he can. It's painful for Jake Benham to be stuck behind Joni Tourmala at this point. In towards Mirabeau now, looking up the inside, no. And now the hairpin awaits him next as he gives him a bump. Here he goes up the inside. Can he now finally make it work? Mounting the curbs off the exit, banging wheels with Tourmala to the annoyance of the Finn. And off the exit at Portier corner, it's a repeat of what we saw last lap, but now he has the opportunity to once again go up the inside at the Nouvelle chicane. Is he gonna go for the move? No, he can't.
This is incredible. There's just absolutely no way through for Jake Benham. He needs to try and go around the outside of the hairpin, because the problem is the next corner is on the inside for Joni Tourmala if he tries to go down the inside of the first part, and it just doesn't work for him. He gets left on the outside, so Tourmala still fending him off. And meanwhile, they are still, as a trio, catching Luke Smith on 7-lap older tyres. The four of them are going to be in a line in a few moments' time. But here comes Jake Benham. Is he going to go for the inside line on Joni Tourmala? Not quite, but he is so much quicker now as they go climbing up the hill. Can Tourmala do anything to defend as Benham gets closer again? Is he going to try and work his way around the outside? He can't do that. Still, Tourmala is there. He's basically pushing the AlphaTauri through the corners. Maybe this is his moment. Again, thinks better of it. Nearly runs into the back of the Honda powered car. Now the inside line maybe. No, this time he thinks better of it. He's going to try and bide his time and set this one up. What a finish to this Grand Prix. 9 laps to go. Luke Smith almost within DRS territory now as Simon Shooter as he begins to be reeled in by the tracing trio. Now then, Jake Benham, he has to go for it if he wants to win this race. Will that moment be now? No, he still cannot find a way past Joni Tourmala. Oh, it's agonising for Jake Benham. It looks like at this stage it is the case of track position is king.
Once he clears Joni Tourmala, Simon Shooter surely isn't going to hold up his own teammate when he looks to be in strongest stead for the win of this Grand Prix. Off the exit of Anthony knows. Can he find the run? He's actually slower off the exit of the final corner in the slipstream in the wheel tracks of Joni Tourmala down in towards Saint-Devant. Can he prioritise a good exit and possibly go up the hill in towards Massenet? Joni Tourmala blinking red lights. Half the ERS percentage is going to be utilised as here they go in through the Casino Square and off the exit in towards Mirabeau corner. Can Jake Benham find the opportunity? He just can't at this point. There's no opportunities off the inside into the hairpin. No, the fan favourite Jake Benham can't find an opportunity to go past Joni Tourmala, who's making his car as wide as possible on the streets of Monaco. Here he goes though, he's closer than he's ever been before, down through the tunnel and in towards the Nouvelle chicane. Can he find the opportunity? Outside line for Jake Benham, squeeze to the wall. Oh, he can't find the opportunity. It was golden on a silver platter for him, but there was no room at the end. Joni Tourmala with a stoic defence.
Yeah, there's just no way through for Benham, and it does look at this stage that track position will be king. Luke Smith has now been reeled in, and we do have a 4-car train for the remaining 8 laps of this thrilling Monaco Grand Prix. It's the first time in PSGL we've came in PC into the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, and it has not let us down. Drivers and fans of PSGL, they were all apprehensive going into this one. Will we get a procession? We have not had that at all. We've got drivers, none of which that were in the top 3 at the start of this race, fighting for the victory. It's been a strategic battle from start to finish, and it has been a race full of great overtakes and action in corners where you just wouldn't expect it. F1 Esport, PSGL, League Racing, we're all winners here tonight. Can Jake Benham do anything to get ahead of Tourmala, who looks to me like he was a little bit wide there coming off the corner? Is this Benham's best chance as he tries to reel him in? Is he going to get close enough? No, he's not. He's still stuck in 4th place. We're just reading the chat, and it has been made some very interesting reading over the last few minutes. And someone did say, and I have to totally agree with it, being 3rd in a train at Monaco is a nightmare. It was Francisco Velasquez that said it, and he's absolutely right, because if you try and send one up the inside, there's a very good chance that Jake Benham could run into his teammate Simon Shooter just in front of him, Dan, couldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to be careful of that potential. But he's just got to think about the moment, and that is going up the inside of Joni Tourmala at any point on the circuit. He looks closer up the hill and towards Massenet corner. Finally, he's going to make this one stick up the inside at Massenet. No, the door closes on him. Joni Tourmala holds him off, fends off the attack from Jake Benham's Alfa Romeo car and in towards Mirabeau corner now for the 33rd time. Can Benham send one up the inside of Tormala into the hairpin? Can he make this stick? But it comes the inside for the next part of the circuit for Yoni up towards Portier, down the inside. No!
Did he damage the wing? Did he damage the wing?
I don't think he did.
Don't think he did. We'll have to wait and see if he drops off. But Benham trying everything here to get into the podium places, but again, he cannot do it. And going by himself through there, oh, that was a bit understeery. Is it game over for Benham? Let's see. Or was it just an outbreaking error from Benham? Let's keep an eye on him. Keep on board. Is there damage? Does it look like damage? Looks pretty... he's hit the wall again. I think he might have damage, you know. Has that finally ended Benham's chances of victory? We'll keep an eye on that gap. Luke Smith, though, continues to lead this race. He has played the strategy, by the looks of it, to perfection. He is ahead of Diamond Shooter and Yoni Tormala, pulling the pin early on the hard tyre, and at the minute could be on for a famous victory. As he's had his exams during the week, extra stress, as some people threw cheating allegations his way, but at the moment he's going to silence them all and take the victory. Jake Benham not making any impression. I think he might have damaged that wing.
I'm looking on Taz and there's no indication of any damage for Jake Benham. So I think he might be okay. I don't know really what he was thinking, trying to go up the inside at Portier. I'm not going to lie, he just don't got the inside there. I think Jenson Button showed that perfectly on Pascal Wehrlein, almost flipped him into the Mediterranean at that point in 2017. So it's just not something you do. And Jake Benham has cost himself a potential podium in this race. I don't think he was going to get the win at this point because Luke Smith looking like he's in the best position for that. He's not used any of his battery. He's got 99% in that Mercedes. So really channeling his inner Jana Watmir, if you will, taking over his seat for this race on one of the Mercedes. I think it might have been actually Danny Moreno that he's taken over. But he's done spectacularly. And he's got to hold off Time and Shooter for the remaining few laps to win this race.
Meanwhile, Sam McBride, he's right behind Brendan Lee, looking to take 5th place away on his soft tires. Brendan Lee really struggling on the mediums, unable to convert that pole into victory, which is really disappointing for him. Here comes Simon McBride. Oh, that is so close going up the hill. McBride trying everything to get ahead of Brendan Lee, the two-time champ. Can he maybe try something down the hill? The rear end snaking on both cars. Brendan covers the inside. McBride tries the outside. What a battle we're seeing here in Monaco. Is he going to go for the inside line? No. Ducks back to the outside. He's going to try and maybe switch to the inside going down the hill, but he gets in the throttle a little bit too soon and it doesn't work out. Meanwhile, De Capua, I think, had a moment down in the braking zone. No, it was Vigang, or who was it? Yeah, it was De Capua, wasn't it? Yeah, front wing gone. Didn't see it. Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I just caught the end of that. Yellow flags as well. Liam Parnell out of this race. I don't think we're going to get a safety car or even a VSC for De Capua, but he has no front wing. And around a circuit like Monaco, it's not going to feel good to drive whatsoever. So I'd say that is any chance of points completely squandered for Alessio Di Capua at this point. Lap 36 rolls along here, and Luke Smith still coping brilliantly to maintain his lead over Luke Smith, though. Sam McBride is fighting at the moment with Brendan Lee, and he's looking almost to the inside at Saint-Devant, turn number 1, and off the exit. Sam McBride he's surely gonna get our pole sitter for this race. Two-time esports champion against young hot shot Sam McBride, who's trying to go around the outside of Massenet in towards Casino Square. They go, and off the exit, both cars squirming about, trying to find traction on the accelerator, on the loud pedal, in towards the chicane, in towards the hairpin on the exit of Mirabeau. I don't think McBride is able to find an opportunity. Great fence, to be fair, to Brendan Lee, who is doing a splendid job of holding off McBride at this point.
Yeah, as you said, Jake Benham, by the way, getting back to within 6 or 7 tenths. So is there going to be one last assault from him? Here comes McBride now. Is he going to go for the inside line? Whoa! Loses the rear, almost under braking. Was there some late braking there? Or late moves from Brendan Lee, perhaps? That'll be the question that Sam McBride will be asking. As he tried to go for the inside, the rear snapped on him. And he is that now out of contention is Alessio Di Capua. So one Williams out, McBride carries on. But wow, that could have been damaged quite easily for him. Didn't quite occur though for Sam McBride, but that was some very scary stuff there between he and Brendan Lee.
I think McBride might try and have another opportunity. Brendan Lee with no ERS in the battery and closing towards Saint-Devant is McBride, going a bit deep on the brakes. He's going to use the superior traction of the soft tyres to close back up to the Ferrari rear wing. As De Campo leaves the session, that's only 14 runners left in this Grand Prix. We're watching the battle for 5th between pole sitter Brendan Lee and Sam McBride, who's had a brilliant race in this one today. I'm just trying to see, he's made up 7 places. That's almost the most out of anyone, the most made up by anyone in this Grand Prix. It's been Luke Smith, 8 places made up for our race leader in this one. As off the exit of Portier, can McBride to find an opportunity to make a serious overtake, but he looks way too far back. I think the opportunity might be gone for him though.
Yeah, have the soft tyres started to die because Jake Benham is not putting anywhere near as much pressure as he was on Yanni Tormola, Simon Shooter and Luke Smith either. So is Luke Smith now looking like pulling off a win in PSGL? That's been a pretty hectic week for him, it has to be said. And Luke Smith at the minute is looking pretty strong. Can Sam McBride do anything to get Brendan Lee into turn 1? He's charging the battery. Is he going to go diving up the inside? No, he's not quite able to do it, and he stays in 6th place. Now, going up the hill, Sam McBride is going to be looking left and right on Brendan Lee, going up to the top of the crest. Still not able to get through. Maybe on the way down the hill, he can have a look. Maybe this time into Mirabeau Corner. McBride thinks about it. Again, Lee covers the inside. He tries the outside line, does McBride, and still Lee keeps him at bay. Huh. Frustration boiling over almost for Sam McBride, Dan.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's not going to be easy for McBride to be in this position, just mentally, stuck behind Brendan Lee for so long at this point, possibly in towards the Nouvelle Chicane. Can he go up the inside line? Brendan Lee placing his car in a smart position in the middle of the circuit, but he rides over the curves, and Sam McBride all over him on the exit though. I just don't see the opportunity ever coming as we begin the final lap of the race, Andy. Luke Smith, what a race he's had. Now he's using up the battery. He knows that the race win is in the palm of his hands, and surely we've got to follow him throughout this this final lap here.
Yeah, we absolutely do have to follow this man, because I am very happy for him. This is excellent stuff to see. Luke Smith, by the way, so don't forget this, by the way, last week in Silverstone, if he pitted for intermediate tyres when leading the race, when it started to rain, he would have been the man in the lead position on intermediate tyres with a chance to win it. He was frustrated last week because it was an opportunity to win going down the drain. Since then, accusations of cheating have been flung his way. He's had his exams this week as well. It's been very stressful. But at the end of the week here, or in the middle of the week, in this Wednesday evening, things are going to go just right for Luke Smith. He's played the strategy to perfection. Who says you need to be on pole in Monaco? The man that started in 9th is going to come round the final corner, head to the line. It's a first tier 1 win for Luke Smith in the Mercedes. He's done it. Well done, Luke Smith. Defeats Simon Shooter, Yanni Tormola and Jake Benham, who finishes 4th. Brendan Lee is going to be 5th ahead of Sam McBride in 6th, and a long way back will be Longley in 7th. But a word, Dan, on Luke Smith. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, well done indeed to Luke Smith. He's coped brilliantly in this Grand Prix, and considering all that's happened to him in the last week, I'd say it's been one heck of a week, one heck of a last few days for this man. But he's really coped under the pressure, and he's taken the win in Monaco. Time and Shooter, fair play to him, did all he could to close to the rear of Luke Smith, and maybe it could have been a different story if the strategy had worked out for him. As Simon Feigang, I've just seen he's binned it in the wall at the final corner, and it's not been a good day for Alpine as they're going to cross the line 13th and 14th at the end of this one. Simon Feigang going to cross the line. That's going to be the final finisher in what has been a great race at Monaco. Normally a procession, but it really did provide us a treat today.
Oh, what a fantastic race, Dan. And I am... You know something? There you go. Driver of the day, Luke Smith. Yeah. And I don't think we can argue with that. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Well done to Luke Smith. What a topsy-turvy week it's been. Could have won last week had he picked the right tyres in the pit stop. Didn't. Then accusations of cheating came his way after WOR. Put them to one side. Did his exams. And he's batted aside anyone that thinks he's cheating. He takes the victory here in Monaco. Well done to him. I don't think you could get any more of a popular winner here tonight. He takes the victory than Diamond Shooter and Joni Tormala. No doubt about it. Driver of the day. Luke Smith, his first win in the top tier here in PC. Shooter second, Tormala third, Jake Benham fourth from 11th on the grid. Brendan Lee, disastrous in the race. Great stuff in qualifying. The strategy did not work. He finished P5 after starting on pole. Sam McBride, he charged through to 6th. He tried his best to get Lee, couldn't get there before the end. Nicholas Longue comes home in 7th. Barry Burman 8th. Louis Welsh 9th. He was holding everyone up early doors, and that's what hurt Burman, Longue and Lee. And it was Thomas Ronhard that completed the top 10 for Haas. Shanaka Clay was 11th, Danny Beresney 12th, Daryl Yamilo P13, 14 Simon Vagang, and the retirements, Alessio Di Capua, Liam Parnell, Ruben Pedreño, Daniele Haddad, Josh Idawu, and Matthias Van Erven. The retirements from this race tonight. But we have to say a big congratulations and well done to Luke Smith, Dan, the winner of the PSGL Season 30 PC Monaco Grand Prix here in F1. What a story, and it's just fitting that he wins this week, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the first time PSGL has come to Monaco on the PC platform, and he's done brilliantly. Really, I hope we can get him in for an interview, get his comments on his performance. But a spectacular performance from Luke Smith, picking up his first win in the top tier of PSGL F1 on the PC platform. That's got to be a special one for him. I saw him weaving across the line and everything. He was so pleased.
Yeah, he was so pleased, and you're right. I hope we do get to speak to him. And we know, we've touched on it briefly there. Last week, if he picked the right tyres in the pit stop, it could have been the shock win then. But tonight, from 9th on the grid, gets it done. It just goes to show, Dan, it can be about strategy. It doesn't have to be all about overtaking in Monaco. He was the strategic king, and he got the job done. Brendan Lee, he started on pole. He was still, despite starting on pole, the man making all the overtakes. But track position's king. Track position is king, and Luke Smith proved that. It's all about strategy and track position in Monaco, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was something special, and I do feel for well, you know what? No, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't feel for them, because they're the top guys in league racing, and they made the mistake by going onto the softs. The only one I feel for actually is Thomas Ronhard, because of course he had to start on that set of the soft compound of tyre, given that he qualified on that set in Q2 into Q3, so he really had no other choice. But anyone who qualified in Q2 on the intermediates, they could have gone on the mediums, and I think that's what lost them the race right from the start.
Yeah, I think you make a very good point, Dan. So I mean, maybe that is what lost them it, but even still, there were some drivers that went a little bit longer on the soft tyre. Some of them didn't come in right away. The likes of Louis Welsh went, 10, 11 laps holding everyone up. I think it was damage that was the reason for him going so slowly. But, I mean, it was just an incredible race. And what about some of the moves we see out there? Brendan Lee sticking one round the outside on Di Capua at the hairpin. What? It's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I said that if he got a podium, he'd be driver of the day. He didn't pick up that podium in the end. He got caught with the battle with Sam McBride. It didn't really go his way today. And even though he had the strategical blunder, you know, he still proved why he is a two-time esports champion, because it's not all about the strategy. At the end of the day, it's about what you can do on the circuit. You can have the perfect strategy, but if you're not quick, you're not going to win. And it was the other way around for Brendan Lee. He didn't have the strategy, but he most certainly did have the pace, and that is really what lost it for him. But I wouldn't be disheartened, because he did put on a great performance and finished on P5, I think it was, yeah. Yeah,
P5 in the end for him. Holding off Sam McBride right to the finish. There was quite the battle going on there. Also, towards the end, there was a lot of expectation that Jake Benham would make some moves on the likes of Simon Shooter, Joni Tormala, and of course the eventual winner, Luke Smith. But that just didn't materialise. Again, track position proving to be king. Tormala defending really hard, and it was a frustrating afternoon for Jake Benham. It just didn't quite work out, and maybe... But, you know, you can maybe understand a bit more with Benham, because he was 3rd out of 4 in that line anyway, and he gambled. But maybe the likes of Shooter and Tormala, well, 1st and 2nd before those stops, maybe they will be annoyed they didn't pull the trigger when Luke Smith did.
Yeah, Absolutely, and speaking of the man himself, Luke Smith, I see him in the waiting room, Andy. So I think it's time we get him in for an interview here.
Drag him in. Drag him in then. Bring him in.
Oh.
We could speak to Luke Smith. And, well, I am absolutely delighted to speak to this man. Look, I'm going to be honest, mate. I don't think I've been happier to see someone win a race. I really don't. It's been some week for you. Let's go all the way back to last Wednesday, first of all. You had the chance to win that race had you made the right tyre choice of intermediate. You didn't. It cost you dear. Again, everyone will say coulda, shoulda, woulda. But it was a chance. Then in after WR, there was some allegations getting flung your way. You had exams this week. It's been very, very stressful. But what a way to answer your critics. Tell me how you feel right now.
Overwhelmed, I think is the best way to describe it. Like just a few hours before this race, I was questioning whether or not I even wanted to do it because everything was so stressful. My exams have gone okay today, thankfully, so that's what made me decide to race. And I'm so glad I did. Like everything as of late has been so ridiculously hard to deal with, and having this is the biggest weight off my shoulders I've ever had in my life. This, I mean, apart from when obviously I actually had pressure on my back from Yoni and Timon, but yeah, this has been one of the most happy. This has been the happiest moment of my life probably, because it means I'm kind of one step closer to the goal of F1 Esports someday.
Well, I'm so happy for you, mate, and I could tell in your voice that you're absolutely delighted. So much pressure on. It's been a wild week, and you have delivered the victory in the top tier in PSGL. Well done, Dan. I'm sure you want to ask a question to Luke, because I'm so happy. It's a fairy tale story, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, amidst all the controversy, you prevailed in the end. So I guess I want to know, do you have any words for those who doubted you?
To quote Valtteri Bottas, to whom it may concern, F you. Because I don't think there's any way I could say it better, but this is awesome.
Excellent, Luke. So happy for you, mate. Well done. Let's talk about the race then, because it was quite the race. I mean, first of all, I don't think you thought you were going to win from 9th, did you?
Absolutely not. Like I knew I had good pace. I knew I'd be able to gain a couple of positions. Like my aim was to gain maybe 1 or 2 positions with strategy before the start of the race because of my internet disconnecting during quali. But I just with the decision to go onto the hards early and undercut everyone. That was kind of like what everyone did earlier with the softs, but more effective, because that way I knew I wouldn't get held up by anyone, because if I had been held up, then that would have effectively ruined my race. So I was able to find space where there were no cars in front of me, where I didn't have to make any hard overtakes that would cost me a lot of time. Obviously I had Dario, but thankfully, well, not thankfully, but he got wing damage, so I was able to sneak past. So yeah, thanks to him for not killing me. But yeah, from then it was just really pressure. Like the strategy was so unbelievably on point today that it shocked even myself. I'm gobsmacked.
Yeah, the strategy was on point. So just to be clear, was that always your intention at the start of the race to go longer? You were never going to bail out early?
No, because after I decided to go onto the mediums, I knew that if everyone else got stuck behind someone on mediums or hards or whatever, they were going to lose a lot of time, because Monaco is simply that hard to overtake. So I was able to find some space to slot into, and in doing so, I just had just pure clean laps. Okay. So I didn't have anyone blocking me in terms of track position, etc. And I found myself out front. And as you may know from a couple of races, track position at Monaco is pretty damn key. Yeah,
we've said it so many times during the broadcast. Track position is key. And I've got to ask you this, were you surprised to see the likes of Lee, Burneman, Clay, some experienced top esports drivers making the strategy decision they did? Or were you expecting some of them to do that?
I knew some of them would do that. I think I'd been watching Nicholas Longe practice earlier in the week, and I'd overheard from someone that he said he was going to box like as early as lap 4. I didn't expect them to go lap 2, which was I really don't understand, but you know they'll do what they do. And yeah, I figured that if I can just try and keep my nose clean and out of any dirty air or not have cars in front of me, then I'd be in with a good shout of a good result, but
Okay.
not a win.
Well, you got the win at the end. They made the mistake, and you were the beneficiary. What about at the pit stop phase for yourself? Obviously, it was clear at that point. You cleared the group that had been leading, from the grid. So, what were you? I think you were 4th in the line. So you were the one that had to pull the plug and try and make something happen and go different. Were you surprised to see them not cover you immediately and go longer and then fit the softs? Or, well, for some of them hard.
Yeah. I actually really was, because I thought I guess maybe they underestimated that the hards, because I'll admit they were not a good race tire.
Small deck.
They felt yeah, exactly. They felt quite gripless, but at least they had enough pace to jump myself in front of those those 3. And the fact that nobody responded was kind of a tell. Like when I started to realize, holy crap, I can maybe even win this thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I was surprised as well. I thought they would respond immediately, then they didn't. And then my immediate reaction was, well, they're all going to go softs. And then, lo and behold, the 2 drivers behind you go hards. And because, I just found it baffling, because we know ourselves, the tyre wear is so small in the hards that 7-lap fresher tyres isn't really going to be that much of a difference. So it was almost a wee bit fortunate in the sense that the one guy that did go softs was the guy that ended up at the back of the train in Benham, because he was, you might be aware, he was really hassling Joni Tormala, really pressuring him, much more pressure than than you were getting from behind. I know you were under pressure, but Benham was honestly all over the back of Tormala, trying everything to get past him. So I suppose you were a wee bit fortunate in that sense, but I take it you were also surprised that they didn't go soft.
Well, yeah, because if you would go soft, then you'd have a massive pace advantage over the hards. But but the fact that they went hards effectively just made sure that they'd settle in behind me, because, like you say, the 7 or whatever lap fresher hards really won't make a difference.
Yeah.
So by that point, I knew that I could at least keep those 2 behind, and then I was unsure of how if / when Jakey would be able to get past, and yeah. Once he struggled to get past, and he tried a lot of times, I'd say after about 5 or 6 laps, I started to think, yeah, I don't think Jake is much of a threat, because those softs die off very quickly. They're very fast, but they die off quickly. So, yeah, that's kind of the moment where I was just trying to bring it home at that point, honestly.
Yeah, and what was going through your mind then as you were on those final few laps, bringing it home? Were you feeling pressure? Don't make a mess of this. Don't mess up. Or were you quite calm? What was going through your head?
Honestly, the first initial reaction, as you might expect, is just don't crash, because it is Monaco after all.
Yeah.
But also, I was just thinking, just keep a cool head. Don't let this get to you, and just try and keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the best job that you can, so you're not doing anything wrong. So, yeah, I think it was all just about being consistent and not taking any risks that were just unnecessary.
Well done, mate. I can't believe that. It's a fantastic victory for you. Dan, have you got any more questions for Luke before we let him go?
Nah, I think you've asked. Yeah, I think you've asked all of them for me. But once again, a really well done on this win. It's spectacular stuff from you today. Hopefully, we can see you back here in the commentary box and in the interview room in the future.
Let's hope so. Doubt it'll be anytime soon, but let's hope.
One more question for you. France next week. Do you think? Well, if you get the chance to race, because I know you're filling in tonight. Are you hoping? Is it a track you enjoy? Could you go well there?
Well, the people that know me will know the answer to this, but I have raw pace. I think I have time trial world record at the moment, but that doesn't mean a lot for online. So I think I can do well, but I doubt I'll be able to win because it's a very different track to Monaco. Monaco is effectively a no overtaking zone, but France you can actually do overtake people. So I'll still be looking to get a good result, but I'm not expecting a win. Similarly to like Ocon in Hungary last year.
Or similarly to like tonight when you started ninth.
Yeah.
I don't think you were
Exactly.
expecting that either. But look, mate, congratulations on that victory. I mean, I'm so happy for you. That is a fantastic way to silence any critics. Well done, and congratulations on your victory. And who knows, we'll maybe see you up here next week. Well done on the win. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Thanks. See you later, mate. Well, that was absolutely fantastic, isn't it? League Racing, a great moment there. The wrong buttons here, sorry folks. But yeah, a fantastic moment that was. Dan, Luke Smith, clearly delighted, labelled it as the best day of his life. Wow, that's how much this means to him. He's desperate to get into an F1 esports drive.
Yep, and if he keeps going like this, it is going to be right there for him. Of course, a part of the Alpine Academy with Race Clutch, so he's got that path into the upper echelons of F1 esports, and I think in a few years, maybe even next year, in a few years' time or something, we could be seeing him on the F1 esports grid, fighting out with some of the greatest of all time. But it's fun. It's actually funny. Also, you mentioned Hungary. It was close in terms of qualifying. He was actually one place behind where Ocon started. Ocon started 8th, so I think Luke Smith's done him one better.
Oh, there you go then. Luke Smith, he's just batting everyone aside at the minute, isn't he? Great performance to Luke Smith. Congratulations to him. But what a race we've had here in Monaco. It didn't let us down. There was a few concerns that we'd have a procession. There was none of that tonight. A strategical battle. The man from 9th won here tonight. Luke Smith with his first Tier 1 victory on PC. Congratulations to him. What a race. What a result. If you've liked what you've seen here tonight, be sure to leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and of course subscribe. We will be back with more action next week. The French Grand Prix, same time, 7 PM. That's all from myself, Ginger Andy, and my good friend Dan Field. All that's left to say from us is au revoir. Good night here from Monaco. Bye-bye.